Hold on, guys. This could be a big mistake. Mistake? If they could do that to a wall, imagine what they could do to our heads.
For sure. And our heads are nowhere near that thick.
Stick to your head.
Turtles.
Yeah, and we didn't make that hole, you wacko.
Oh, no.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the October 2021 edition of Turtle Talk. As always, I am Dave Wonder, aka Dave Wheeler. With me, as always, is the fearsome Dan and
Hey,
Connor. How's it going?
Connor's joining us again. What's going on, Dave? How are you?
Always a pleasure to be here. So, welcome. But with us today is a very special guest. You might recognize him from the chat. Our good buddy Emilio, who actually worked on a couple of the TMNT properties. So, what's up, dude?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me. Let's talk some turtles.
Yeah, welcome.
Rocking my old school crew shirt here. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, what up, Paynaps? How's it going? Oh, Tussler's already in. Man, holy cow. That exploded. The chat just apparently decided to load on my screen. Good, great.
We got a lot of people in there, so if you're in there, thank you for joining us tonight. Emilio, thank you, buddy. This is fantastic.
Oh, no problem. I actually just recently stumbled onto Dave's channel a while ago, and I've just been sort of hanging out in the chats and stuff. And then every time the Turtle Show comes up, I throw a little bit of tidbits in there, like
always appreciated.
Well, we were we tried to do this the last 2 months where it was just like, yeah, we should do something, and then
sort of that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, what up, Merkin? How's it going? But yeah, so welcome everybody in the chat. Welcome to everybody here. What up, Gail? Gail will actually be joining us a little bit later on. But yeah, real quick, I figure we can do a little getting to know you section, Emilio, if that's cool. You can find him at all these. Well done, Mitch Falcon. I did not actually send him those links. He's
every month, Mitch just blows me away. That is fantastic.
Holy cow. So, real quick, Emilio, if you want to just let the folks in the chat know, like, who are you? What is your connection to our favorite shellbacks?
Oh, well, I actually worked on the 2003 to 2009 iteration of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the for kids one. Does let folks like, there's little Mikey there. So yeah, it's a sort of an interesting journey. So how I actually got onto there, because I'd come from being like an intern at Marvel Comics, and this was at the time when Marvel Comics was literally going bankrupt. And I obviously back then I wanted to be a comic book. I wanted to get on like something like some cheesy book like Night Thrasher, work that up. But then
that's not cheesy, Emilio. That's not Night Thrasher.
Well, come on. Like Night Thrasher's not like the top of the food chain. He's like, they had the book. So it's like I wanted to be that guy, work my way up. But unfortunately, at that time, Marvel was firing people more than they were hiring. I saw like a world where people were like, crying at their desks, and really, kind of gave me a reality check.
Wow.
A lot different than the, Stan Lee, come to the bullpen. That's where I worked. But it was, but I got a lot of experience in that. And then initially from there, when I went to college, I was like, maybe I should get an animation. But then, obviously, the animation industry sort of fell apart. So I ended up in the cartooning department again. But then from there, I was
What
in
a kid.
college and all that good stuff. And then at the end of college, I was like, I needed some credits. And then I was like, you know what? Let me take an internship. And Marvel and DC weren't an option anymore because they just were full. So I went into For Kids, and that's where I sort of started. And I
Nice.
just worked my way through there from being an intern in 2005, to becoming the doing background painting, doing illustrations for the show, as well as character designs, did storyboards. Turtles Forever, I actually did actual animation for, animated 2 sequences for that, as well as designed incidental characters. So from 2003 to 2009 was a really great part of my career, where it sort of allowed me to kind of get into all these different things.
Sounds like it. Jeez.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that? How did you get in the door?
Well, at least it was for me. Getting in the door was actually just an internship before.
That's it.
Kids.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
then closed it delicately.
No, I mean it was just because I always say this, if you're interested in trying to get any sort of work, especially if you're a young person getting into out of college and stuff, take yourself an internship. Sometimes I took a bunch of different internships, like at production studios and stuff, just so I can get my fingers wet on the industry.
Sure,
but I was for that initial internship, they were so great with that. Well, they actually let me sit in on a voice session.
Nice.
So I got to see the crew, do all of that stuff. And there's a little bit of fun nostalgia about our For Kids. Then is a lot of the people are transplants from Sunbow. Sunbow, if did Transformers and G.I. Joe. So our producer, Carol Weissman, she was a producer on the original Transformers. She had one point she brought in a bunch of Transformers character sheets and stuff. And then also Sue Blue was our voice director. Sue Blue is the voice of RC on Transformers. So so it's just sort of that part of me like like that, and then obviously once all that got down and died down, it's like, all right, let's get to work and let's just do this. So
very cool. Real quick, hey to everybody in the chat that just hopped on. What's shaking? Also, I've been dying because I've been reading the comments on the blimp. Before we came on, Emilio and I were talking about it. Then Dan and Connor hopped on. We got into it because thanks to Robert Stanton, I have that beautiful balloon beast right here.
Look at that thing. Yeah,
and we will get to this because I haven't even got a chance to bust into it yet. But
are you going to unbox it tonight?
I'm going to unbox it on here, and what?
Yeah.
I think once I bring Gail on, I'm going to inflate this thing live on air.
Great idea.
I saw a couple of people say, I used the pump, I used my face. They couldn't get it going.
Does it take one of those old school tire,
that's it. I think it does. So, but I'm like, it's in the garage. I'm just gonna turn blue for everybody, or green. Let's keep with the theme. So we'll get to that. But Robert, that's timing for you. Thank you again, my friend. I really appreciate it. It got here. And I'm going to make a complete butt of myself this evening because Connor's here. And
appreciate it
live on air. But yeah, so I want to see Dave blow it up. Oh, this could end poorly. What up, Narc? How's it going?
Quick story on Narc. I saw Narc. Now, Narc's located in Texas, and I'm close to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Narc last weekend.
Oh, yeah, because you were at Retromania?
Retropalooza. Very close. Retropalooza, video game convention down in Arlington, Texas. I knew that Craig was going to be there, and I was set up there as a vendor. I traveled the country doing random video game shows.
Mm-hmm.
And Narc, who was a guest on our show 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. He was down there. Him and I spent some time together. Other guys of note that were down there. Pixel Dan was down there. What other turtle guys were there? I don't know. A bunch of video game people. Pat the NES Punk.
Retro Rick was there.
Yeah. Retro Rick was there. A bunch of toy guys. OK Chief was there.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys. A bunch of very, very good guys. But specifically, Craig being down there was a pleasure to finally meet him in person officially.
Yeah.
Narc's a good man.
Connor's a big fan of Pixel Dan.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean, you too?
Yeah, me too. You're right.
Oh, there we go. Such a great time. Heck yeah. Real quick, we're gonna buzz through the news of turtle goodies that have popped up, and of course, I lost
Connor's
my
very excited for this.
bookmark.
Oh,
There we
Emilio,
go.
are you a collector? I mean, I can see a couple of random toys and figures behind you.
It's a little hard to see, but I have a Detolf here with a bunch of a random smattering of things. And,
Okay. Oh, I do
know,
see that. Okay. Yeah.
I brought out my old
What up,
school
mate?
turtle case to
Very
see what's
cool.
inside.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I still like the one thing about working on the turtle show. They were a little stingy with the toys. Like sometimes everybody, all the voice actors and everybody else would get all the toys, and then sometimes we get like, every so often we get some stuff. So here's what was this one? This is one of the Dark Turtles from
that's
Dark
so
Donnie.
cool.
Still a cool figure.
Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
I still have a random, like I think I have some of the fast forward guys and some of the other ones, so it's all fun.
Shout out to Made. He actually sent out some furniture, so I got a chair
That's
and,
awesome.
and a
Nice.
couch for the
That's for the
Dio
turtle.
now. So
It looks
very
like
very cool. I was putzing around with that.
Is that
Really?
that
I
goes
have
with
the
the
furniture.
Turtles lair from the classic Turtles?
Yeah. I got the
Yeah.
couch in there. I actually had
Nice.
someone sitting on it earlier, and I
Do you have that custom TV as well?
do.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Good
in
stuff.
there. Hold on.
Same.
This.
Oh,
Don't break it. Oh, I know it's fragile.
You know when we were doing Turtles Forever, that was look at that.
it's
And
a
then-
changer also.
Oh, and the books.
It sits on
Yeah.
the books. Yeah, it's only got 3 legs.
When it's funny, like so when we were doing Turtles Forever, a lot of the big things that we were trying to get our hands on was actually original background. So one thing what we did was we actually put out the call to the fan. We actually kept a really good eye on the turtle. What was it, the Technodrome forum back in the day?
Okay.
And,
Yeah, buddy.
and we put out the call to the fans. We're saying we because obviously a lot of this stuff is so hard to get their hands on. Like some of the original character designs, the background designs were also very difficult. So we actually said, "Hey guys, can you help us out? We're doing something."
Yeah.
So we got a lot of really nice original backgrounds and stuff to sort of work off of when we're doing
Nice.
the movie.
But it is insane that that's the route that you had to go to
Get that.
get it authentic and get it official. That there was no better way to do it.
To be honest, like Mirage Studios wasn't very organized.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
a lot
obviously.
of times we would just they had an incomplete character
Next time,
things,
Cup.
hundreds of like thousand version copies of character sheets, so we had to do a lot of cleanup and all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
So it's so weird to think that it would be so hard to find that stuff.
Right.
But I think in general, like for the Turtles fans, that they've always been really cool when it comes to that, especially when we would interact with them on the forums back in the day.
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find. Shav in the chat was asking who voiced Casey Jones. It looks like Patrick Fraley voiced
Patrick Fraley, from
Yeah.
It's funny because all of the 4Kids actors are all sort of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Not interchangeable, but they were all worked on multiple shows. Like the guy who plays Raphael, he was on one of the animes that they were localizing. Same thing. April O'Neil is Ash from the Pokemon show.
Yeah.
I think G.I. Joe Sigma 6 we were doing, and a lot of the voice actors
What up,
were on
Chino?
this. So they all sort of
Yeah.
jumped around to different shows. The only one that didn't was our Shredder.
Oh,
He was like exclusive to our show.
If it was 03, it was Mark Thompson.
Yeah, we have the Super Shredder signed up there.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Is
I was
that-
in line with you guys then.
Yeah.
Was
Actually,
that what's his face? Kevin Nash?
Kevin
Kevin
Nash.
Nash.
Nice.
I got to show this because you were talking about the backgrounds, and because we were talking about the Dio, May 1979 is doing a Technodrome now.
Oh.
Oh, look at this thing. Is that the same guy that did your lair?
Yep.
Look
Unbelievable.
at that.
And my wallet is absolutely petrified.
I was gonna say he is selling these, but at a
Yeah. They're
custom
on
Dio
Etsy.
cost. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Go,
Save
your allowance.
Goku voice actor was also Cheetor. There we
Yep.
go.
Sean Schimmel was our. Oh no, excuse me. That's the later. The Goku actor that was on our show was Sean Schimmel.
Okay.
That the Cheetor is from the Pioneer ones.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hold up. Oop. So popping on the news. Dan. I just went back and then I was like, well, this is something that the Wingnut and Screw Loose are starting to ship, which is very exciting. So people
I was talking about this last night. This was not a pre-order, right?
It was.
It was I'm so confused with the amount of figures that we've already ordered and that are out and that aren't out.
Yeah,
we have a bunch in there, and we have so much more coming, and we haven't even got the monster ones, which we'll show later.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't you worry. Then Super 7. We did talk about these briefly last time. Actually, friend of the channel, Alex, aka Fanplastic4, actually sculpted Scratch.
Nice.
So,
is that right?
Yeah. So, because that was the one figure that I was like, maybe I'll skip that one. And then he's like, that was my first full figure for Super 7. I'm like,
you gotta get it.
Never mind. I'm gonna get it now.
See, I'm gonna be a little lost on what we talked about last month and what we didn't, because last month was
you were at a show.
I was gone. I was out of state for that one as well. So if I'm ever talking about something you've already talked about, just let me know and skip over it.
Shaggy, Connor teasing figs like a true pro.
I do like that they're making those sort of funky alternate versions of the turtles.
Yeah. I love that we have the 1949 version of Ace Duck. Like,
and we got Flash.
So in love. Oh, Shav, I'm with you. All the Mousers, all of them. Oh, Great Smunkin, I made a custom guitar amp for my action figures. It's a full stack of cables. Dang, that's awesome.
That's great.
Panther, I thought Wingnut and Screw Loose went up, God, a month ago, I don't know. There was that bevy of like every Tuesday stuff was dropping, and I think it was.
Was it in there?
I thought it was.
No, I believe it was in that.
Talk closer to the mic if you're going to talk.
I think it was the big show thing where they
San
did
Diego?
all the NECA stuff.
You think so? I don't know. I looked in my orders, my previous orders. I didn't see anything.
More from NECA, however, are the
this was exciting
cartoon
Yes.
token roster. Although someone told me that these might be the video game versions.
Oh, that's the first I've heard of that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I was like, that makes sense because I suppose. But I don't know.
Was there any reasoning behind that, or was that just a guess?
So I'm trying to remember who it was that just speculated that it could be video game versions. I remember they show up in the cartoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they do.
But
Yeah, they do. I've seen that episode.
Yeah.
And they teased these two figures, the cartoon versions, at least what I thought was the cartoon versions, in that last NECA reveal.
Yep.
Maybe the items with it might be the clue, though.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking it's got to be.
I'm not super familiar with their cartoon episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just.
Was any of the stuff in the cartoon?
No.
It's funny because I don't remember that.
They were eating food.
They were eating food. Okay, so maybe.
Shav throwing a little bit of love towards Narc there. We'll flip over NECA reveal.
What do you mean, Mark?
Relax.
It's so cool looking.
Yeah, I know.
That's a cool one.
We're gonna order that. That's coming out next year.
It is. I love the size with the lightning bolts and the Tesla coil handles.
We're gonna see another one later.
One thing about these ones, are these based off the monster turtles that Playmates did, or these are still like them just like doing the monster ones?
These are all unique. So these are basically the next iteration of the Universal monsters. Yeah.
Okay.
Connor's actually got here. Let's pop Connor. Woo. Actually has one of those lovely.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Donatello Dracula or Donnie Drac.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember. I think. Oh well, you're to probably go to that one next.
Yep, we're getting there. Don't you worry.
So people were in an uproar about this one, the Frankenstein, because like you said, the original one was Mikey as a Frankenstein.
Yep.
There was in that conversation. I didn't know this, but I learned this in the past week that there was a Donatello Frankenstein in the 2012 line.
Yep, in the 2012 series.
We should show that up on the camera.
In the 2012 series, Donnie was the Frankenstein's creature. Mikey was the werewolf, Raph was the vampire, and Leonardo. What was Leonardo? Leonardo was. Oh, he was the mummy. Good job, Connor.
Amazing.
I just guessed.
Nice.
So we've gotten we're getting a Raph, we've gotten a Mike, we've gotten a Donnie. Do we ever get a Leo complete this set?
We did.
The Frankenstein, the Leo Frankenstein.
I think we did.
My only guess, if Super 7 does something with them, but Super 7 would be cool. Great repros, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So, moving on, we have these, which I'm trying to remember the company. I just completely blanked.
eBay?
3B or they're a company that does third-party Transformers actually.
New Age?
Yeah, that sounds right. Remember they only from the movies TMNT Secrets of the Ooze and Raza and Evil Turtle. Yes. But yeah, so they're doing a series of Mousers, which apparently this is going to be full metal for the leg.
I was just looking at that. Those joints look like very detailed, like very meticulous. Even the toes look like they're articulated.
Yeah, and our friend of the show, David Tussler, was talking about he has a couple of their Transformers, and they are rock solid.
Awesome.
Actually, Emilio, I would love to see your show's version of Mousers done like these because I love that design.
Oh yeah, those were fun. Those ones.
Oh yes, and then they're also doing the Cheapskate.
Ooh, look at that.
Which will be in scale with the NECA figs.
Now, I don't know anything about New Age, this company. The only reason I knew about these accessories and Mousers coming out were through you, Dave.
Yeah.
Is New Age a big, or it's not a third party? They make Transformers. Like they
make third party Transformers.
Ah, I see. So it is kind of like under the table, not official.
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't know much about the Transformer side of things. I am a novice in that area, to say the least. Oh man,
I've dabbled in that area.
I want to see Shredder and Van Helsing.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't know. These look dope. The funny thing is, I love the Cheapskate, and as soon as I saw this, I'm like, that's Mondo Gecko's green board. Like that's not the right like forest green or avocado green like plastic. But darned if it doesn't look cool. Moving.
I wonder if it'll have that little remember it used to have like that little wire that used to go over to their hand or something.
And then it had the kick foot.
Yeah.
That would
pop I have up. It, and it does have the kick foot. So.
Oh yes. And then moving on, it's gonna apparently kick out. That's cool. We have short man Danny, the revelations that figure is incredibly tiny.
Such a disappointment.
And makes me sad. I caught some flack about this because I chopped mine up and I'm slowly I'm extending the legs. So
but you have the ability to do that. Like at the end of the day, when you're done, that's going to look like that's you're doing what they should have done in the first place. You shouldn't have to do this. It's sad that not the average collector can't do what you're doing because they don't have your abilities.
Well, and interestingly enough, though, they did go back and fix April's legs apparently.
Really?
Yeah. I did see photos of that.
Yeah, I did not grab some. I'll try and grab some here shortly. But we actually talked about it. I think it was on Toys with the Boys this week, where they gave her more like the knees, like Casey here.
Sure, sort of overlapping knees that they do. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's pretty cool. Then if you're into them, there was a bevy of pops dropped. Which are pretty darn cool looking, and it's very frustrating because I'm trying very hard not to get pops. But these look.
They're trying whatever they can to pull you in. The best part about this for me, anytime that a big company like Funko in this case releases a set of comic turtles, every comment on social media is, why are they all Raphael? Why are they all Raphael? Why are they all Raphael?
No.
Right, exactly. Slow down. But yeah, I love these. I specifically do love the black and white ones. I'm not a Funko guy. I'm not a pop guy. But I think they're... Oh, you are? Okay, great. So apparently I am by default. Are the black and white ones the Chase ones?
Yeah, the black and whites are the Chase.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then actually Mitch just dropped a link in the chat. Apparently the Playmates Donnie and Shredder 2-pack is online.
Oh, interesting.
Also, John, I tried the swap. It did not extend it to my liking, so I literally lopped off the knee joint and extended Danny's legs with
Danny.
I said
it's just Dan now. Oh, and the Ryan Clark, the April signature editions just started shipping too. Right on. Shav, Emilio answered that a little earlier, and I will gladly let him explain again. Emilio, what is your connection to the Turtle franchise?
Well, I worked on the Ninja Turtles for the 2003 to 2009 iteration of Ninja Turtles. You know, the 4 Kids Turtles. I did color design. I did animation for them. I did character design. A whole bunch of stuff. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about the whole goings on. And if you guys have any questions about certain things, I can totally answer them about that, especially on that show.
Which we are totally going to do a Q&A section here coming up in just a little bit.
Yeah, we got a few more pictures to look at.
Shaggy also put out there,
one.
Pops are dangerous. I have 30 in a box that I need to get rid of.
Very dangerous.
It's funny for me. I've never been that into the whole Pops thing. I'm a little confused about the whole phenomenon. It feels a little like Beanie Babies in some cases, but I mean, I admire how much they put in. You know, how many different franchises they literally get into. Like
and how quickly they pump them out. It's
yeah.
Well, because the crazy thing is they don't have to pay likeness apparently because of the stylization.
No, you don't need to pay likeness rights.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like they could probably do a Pedro Pascal one, and you don't need to pay Pedro Pascal for it, right?
And to be fair, Hasbro did a Pedro Pascal, and I don't think they used likeness, at least not on the first one. Moving on for news, we got apparently the Hunchback Leonardo, which is apparently supposed to be Igor. Igor. Not the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Right. So that's leading me down the path, and a lot of people, it sounds like, down the path of these will all be Frankenstein related.
Seems that way, right?
Donnie as Dr. Frankenstein, and then
Mikey as the bride.
Yeah, I mean,
who is Mikey, right?
Or he could be the what was it, the I can't remember his name, the cop or whatever.
Okay. He could be the constable.
The constable. There you go.
No, I mean it. Mikey is the bride. Leo is also a storage shell. Nice.
Or he could be Dr. Pretorius, right?
Ray, how's it going? It'll be really interesting because the leaked DPCIs came out and Mikey is referenced as the mummy.
Oh, that's right. That's from months ago.
Yeah.
So I wonder if anything changed. I wonder if I wonder if they're just doing it in a weird style where 2 of them are from the Frankenstein franchise and then the other ones are not.
I mean, it's also the thing of you could argue that Leo could be the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but they in the description
they specifically spelled it IYOR, or YGOR, yeah.
There we go. Don't worry, we're not English majors here. It's all good. Moving on from Leo, which another cool thing when I zoomed in, and I can't really do it on here, but he has one whited out eye and then he has a pupil in this one.
Oh, that's okay. I love the detail on these.
Oh yeah, and he also has a goatee and a unibrow, which is a little unnerving.
I almost want to make him look like the Slash. You know, repaint his bandana.
Donnie could be Dr. Frankenstein, and April could be the bride.
So just no Mikey at all. That'd be interesting.
That would suck. No,
that's your favorite one, right?
Moving on, we got the AXN or Action from Loyal Subjects. This is their wave 2. Okay. Those are the 5-inch turtles that look like the SH figure arts, but not legit. But they are doing Bebop, no Rocksteady that we've seen. Casey, it's very clearly a cartoon Casey too. The Foot Soldier and Shredder.
Now, I don't know a ton about this line, but from pictures I've seen, is this company notorious for like great looking renders and then the figures come out and they are not so great looking?
And they are the drizzles.
Okay, gotcha.
Because hold on, I'll pull this up real quick. I'm going to hold on. Bloop. We'll go full screen there for a second. I'm going to pull up an image real quick. Because the turtles are the ones that like. Here, let's do this.
Because these figures look great. I should say the renders look fantastic.
Yeah, so, for instance, this is the render.
All right.
Right. That looks great.
Right.
Yeah, that looks cool.
These are the actual product.
Whoa. All right.
So
that's look at Donnie's head. Look at them all. This is
It looks so. Their faces look so shallow. Like I don't know what happened.
Just
I wanna
wet,
get 'em.
wet.
Get
Again,
out of here.
you went from this.
Look at how good that looks. Do they even
then-
come with two faces?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, that's
Like
better.
they're-
But
right? And the funny thing is, these legitimately look like they were ripped from the SH figure arts.
sure, absolutely.
Mhm.
To that.
For Laven. There you go.
Yeah.
Yay, I get the good look.
It makes me
Sure, talking
sad. Oh, Must, we will get to you momentarily. What? Turtles don't have hair, or do they?
You know, you put them on.
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Uh-oh. Did I lose the? Oh no, there we go. I gotta get my stream key updated. Action is a shell game. Ah, dang it, Ryan.
Yeah, that Shredder looks. I mean, it's interesting how they, because it's like taller versions of whatever the toys were.
Well, and the thing is, these are again going to be 5 inches. That's the thing with the action line. Every figure is 5 inches. So like they
Don't
released
love that.
So they released the brothers from Full Metal Alchemist, and they were the same.
Oh,
height.
this is the ones that I've seen these ones at Walmart. They literally get like every single franchise under the sun, and they make them all the same height, right?
Yep. So they have like
Oh.
Slash from Guns N' Roses. They have Kiss. They have Avatar. It's not, or no, they don't have Avatar. They have I think they have Avatar. I can't remember. Oh, the Gremlins are 5 inches too. Huh. But yeah, and then actually that catches us back up because we are back to the cheapskate. But whoa, they have Avatar. There we go. Confirmed. Greetings, dudes and dudettes. Got my pizza and ready to cowbunga. What up,
There
Mix?
you go. There you go.
They look like 5-inch Mega Constru. They do, except not as well painted. They're asking $20 a piece. Yes. So. But here I'm going to stop sharing this real quick. So that is the turtle news. There's of course stuff that we probably missed, and that's all good. Because the fun thing is we can talk about it now. But real quick, we're going to address a couple of the questions from the chat. I am curious about the where was it? Oh no, I just lost it. Yeah, a would you rather. Keep in mind, Moss, we have a child here.
Yeah, there's a 6-year-old here,
So-
but
so
he's
you
also
can
slowly. He's getting very good. I've been on this in 2 months. Since 2 months ago, this kid could not read one bit. Now he is reading like chapter books. He's like a 180 from where he's going. So I not only have to be wary of what's said on this podcast, I'm also like very quickly looking at the chat and making sure we're clean there.
Yeah.
Definitely on my toes.
You're a good man, Dan.
I'm trying.
We keep it clean.
I'm reading
The action footstep from Walmart has a video game inspired box art. That's cool.
bitter marks. So
Oh, there we go. Inspector Crow is the one-armed constable from The Son of Frankenstein, which Igor is from as well. Over there.
Okay.
Yes,
We're clean.
you're right.
We're clean.
I appreciate it.
So, yeah. Whoa. No, Shaggy.
Oh, whoa, what is that?
There we go. Mitch dropping that the Foot Soldiers 4-pack. So it's the 4-pack of the multicolored Foot Soldiers from the video game, which is very cool.
Nice.
Shav is chat friendly as well. I guess we're not getting the would you won't you type thing, but that's okay. So real quick, we're gonna do a little rapid fire Q&A with you, Emilio.
Yeah.
Because we've already kind of done the background. So Dan and I are going to alternate off questions. And we're gonna do 3 each? That sounds good.
Yeah,
cool.
love it.
we
All right.
have one thing to share. Right?
We'll get there.
Oh,
We'll get there.
that's okay. Connor, real quick, what you got, man?
No,
Do you want to share something?
No.
Okay, we had a purchase.
Oh,
I'm getting into. I don't want to get into this now, but I'm getting into. This was these are what are these? 18-inch
quarter scale.
the quarter scale NECA figures, which is something I was like vehemently not going with. I'm already. Do you have them?
I have the movie turtles back there.
The movie, yeah, you've got the movie ones. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't want to get I think these are very, very cool. I think you guys know I'm a completionist on the NECA cartoon set, but I couldn't justify a $500 collection just on getting the 4 turtles. You know, when I already have the miniature versions, and then I had a bunch of video games that weren't worth taking to the video game show. I brought them to Disc Replay. I got a ton of credit. and in their case they had this Donnie there, and it's the box is damaged, so they had it priced under what even retail was.
Oh wow!
And at that point, I'm like, well, I can't not get it. It's but now it's going to open up. So me saving, I probably saved $35 based from under retail, which is great. But in the long run, exactly, I still got to get 3 more and pay at retail, if not more than retail for.
And you got to find Raph now because Raph came out.
Don't tell me about it. I'm aware. He's already out there. We'll see what happens. I go to a lot of video game shows. Raph came out. The big
collect everything Raph. Can you all believe the only vintage figure I need to complete my recollection is the foot soldier? Yeah. Because a lot of people go, I have one of those. And then you go and look at it and you're like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
And they're getting swooped up by army builders.
They are. I managed to score 2 Lucy's at Nerd Out down in Rochester this past weekend. And they're actually 2 of the 03 foot soldiers. So now I'm up to 5 of those. And the 2012 ones and the vintage ones, I'm at like 10 each. Because I like me some foot soldiers.
That's great.
But all right, well, all right, cool.
All right, Q&A.
So we're gonna go a little rapid fire. What was your first memory attached to Turtles?
First memory attached to Turtles was the pilot episodes of the Ninja Turtles cartoon. Pretty much what we've all seen on television. That was pretty much it.
So you weren't a comic guy before that?
I mean, I can't remember how old I was. I was a kid, so I didn't know anything about the comics. I'm sure a lot of people, just like everybody, most people, that the first exposure of the Turtles was literally that first show.
Same here.
Same thing. So
if you need that Donatello, hit up Quinn.
But yeah, it was. I just always loved that show. It was just a lot of fun, and just the characters and all that stuff. And I still say that the pilot episodes are like my favorite of those, because that's literally the style guide of pretty much whatever the show was going to be. At that point, the animation was was nicer than the rest, because they had the time to do that.
Sure.
And just setting up all the characters and all that other stuff is really great.
Nice.
So based on
I missed the lines on the nose though. I wish they didn't. Get
the
little beak line.
Beak line.
I heard the behind the scenes stuff on that was Peter Laird didn't like them, and he had them pull it out.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So you liked the cartoon? You were into the cartoon. Mm-hmm. Did you, or at what point did you get into the figures? Did you have those as a kid?
The figures, I actually got those alongside it. I almost feel like I saw the figures before I saw the show. I don't know, or they came out around the same time. I at least have I think my first one was maybe Leonardo, and that's Leonardo with the rubber heads. Because remember the first versions of those didn't had those squishy rubbery heads to them. So I had those. And that's pretty much when I started collecting.
How far did your collecting go when you were a kid? Were you collecting? Were you going to the store constantly and asking mom to pick you up a figure, or was it just like a select few?
It was like obviously you want to have the Turtles, and it was always like well, I can always look because I have my collection right here.
Do it. Show us.
Is that your childhood collection?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
All jammed inside of here.
I love this.
See,
when I go to garage sales and I ask for action figures, I'm praying that somebody comes out of their house with a box like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like I have all 4 Turtles in here. I have a rubbery headed Rocksteady. So Bebop. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. There you go. So I have all the Turtles and all that.
Love it.
And then a little bit of my own customization here. So
look at that.
Because I hated the fact that Shredder's his suit was just like one. He didn't have a cape. So this is Splinter's his little gi thing.
That looks great.
And then I used Shredder's original covering as his cape. And then what I did is
how old were you when you made that? Look at that Splinter. Look at this.
So the Splinter, he is wearing Ralph Macchio's gi from the Karate Kid figures.
Nicely done.
Because I realized at the time, I'm like, man, he doesn't have the yin yang symbols on him, but the Ralph Macchio had it. So I stuck it on Splinter, and
that looks fantastic.
There you go.
And how old were you when you were doing all this semi-customizing?
Jeez, when did the show come out? 1987?
Yeah, 87. It's
so I was
am.
7 years old doing this stuff.
Wow, that's
but
fantastic.
I think this is a later Splinter though, because the head's not rubbery. I remember.
Yeah. Which I mean, though they switched that up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny, because I think all of my turtles here, I think I traded them all, because these are all the solid headed ones. But yeah, I know I had them at one point.
The squishies.
Yeah. Saw your Jimbo in here. You know, I remember you guys doing the you had him.
Oh yeah,
Chrome
Dome.
Yeah, Chrome Dome and football Leonardo.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I got a bunch of mirrors.
I love that Leonardo, because they knocked out one of his teeth.
Oh yeah, and there's
they were just like, all football players are
foot soldier
teeth.
right there.
Nice.
It looks like you took decent care of your figure. Do you have the accessories?
Yeah, all the accessories are all thrown in
of course.
here.
Look at that.
You know, the one that's confusing me. So okay, then I have here's Donnie, the disguise.
Yeah,
Yeah, classic one. There you
And
go.
then we just saw this one, which was Sewer
Surfer Mikey.
Yeah, and he still had his thing, Casey Jones.
Vectors.
And also what I was doing, because I also didn't like that the swords and stuff weren't silvery, so I used the silver marker and painted the swords and stuff. You see, you guys can see that there.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
A 7-year-old doing that. That's
I mean, because I love art and stuff like that, but you know, even then you're thinking to yourself like, how come this doesn't look right? How come these things are made of look like they're all made of wood?
You were much smarter than I was. I wrapped them in gum wrappers. Because
sure, like the Wrigley, the silvery Wrigley. Yeah, I'm with you.
That would have been a lot better, because the silver paint doesn't age well.
No, it does not.
Or you know, or what was that? There's this this sort of tape, that like silver tape that they use for like tape? Molding or something like that. No, it's like I can't remember. It's like I seen Adam Savage use it at some point, where it's like this sort of this like silver tape that he just uses for like swords and stuff.
Yeah. That would have been much better.
Yeah,
foil tape.
As far as taking care of my figures, I always tried to take care of them. My mom was always awesome. Like, you know, if you want to have nice things, you got to take care of them. So I always tried to keep them there. I tried to keep them away from my little brother, because I know he would just like smash them together. You know,
we were talking about that before the show. I'm like, I took care of my stuff, but I'm still a 4-year-old with these figures. So it was like, we're going to the sandbox. It's like, it carves up your figures a little bit.
Yeah. So that was me back then. I just started keeping it, like, to give you an idea how I would take care of my figures. So it's like, okay, so you know how like GI Joes would go, like all the joints would get all loose and all that sort of stuff. So I had eventually, if that one would go bad and you couldn't really use it for anything. So I had the stuntman figure. So anytime any of my guys needed to fall over, right, like, you know, fall over onto the ground, I'd take the wiggly stuntman GI Joe and push him over.
I like that.
And the great thing about the when GI Joes would get all loose and stupid like that, when you would drop them on the ground, they all like twisted up,
like a crash test dummy. Yeah,
like a crash test dummy, exactly.
That's great.
Like he just dropped a toy on the ground and it's like Woody.
Yeah, like Woody. There you go.
Exactly. They'd get all their arms would hang up in the air and stuff like that. But you know, that's what I would sort of do. Obviously, for my turtles, they're a little more rigid, so I couldn't use a stuntman for those guys.
All right, Emilio, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Who's your turtle?
Oh, well, I know you're Mikey.
Oh yeah.
And I think I know you're Don.
Yeah.
I'm Leo.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
It's funny on
Raphael.
It's funny though. So on our team, so like our color team was like a 3-man team. So we had a color supervisor, then we had a background painter, and then me who did character and prop color design. So on Mac, what you could do is you can actually mark your different mark your files different colors. So obviously the leader was blue, was our color supervisor. Second was Donatello, he was yellow. He was Mikey, so he was yellow, or orange, and then I was red. So anything. Nice. So we even had little headbands at our table. I still have mine here. Oh no, it's all tied up. Whatever.
It's, put that one up and then take it down real quick because I know
Yeah.
the chat would explode a bit. But all right, Dan, you're up.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Let's go. Tomorrow's Halloween, right? Let's try to theme this question. Did you ever? I don't know how deep you were into turtles. I know you watched the cartoon. I know you watched. I know you collected the figures. Were you ever so into the turtles that you dressed up as one of the turtles for Halloween?
Actually, no, I didn't. I dressed up as a like Superman and like Batman and all that sort of stuff.
Okay,
I never really did the turtle stuff because I was also a stickler for detail. So if I couldn't figure out how to make it look cool to me at the time, I didn't want it because like especially when you remember costumes in those days.
Oh yeah.
Like
it was a plastic mask and like
plastic
a smock.
bag things. So like,
the shell.
And like obviously me at the time, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't look like a turtle. It says Ninja Turtles on the front, and I would have been a stickler to try to do something, to make something look very close to it. But yeah.
Did you have a Halloween question?
I want to whisper into your ear.
Okay, you can whisper in my ear.
I was very lucky. My mom made me a Halloween costume. I actually found this picture today. There's
see
there's,
that is
look at
awesome.
See, there you go.
See, now I would have loved that as a kid.
But the nerdiest part, I got them sweet TMNT slip-ons.
Slippers. Look behind. Hold on. Look behind you. That's the important part.
Look at that.
The cookie jars. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, to this day, that Michelangelo holds all my accessories.
That's in my collection. I don't even remember what turtle I was. I dressed up as a turtle once in college. We were having a Halloween party, and because it was our house, I decided to dress up as like 6 different things that year. And like, there it is. And like every hour I would change costumes. So my costumes were like they were all homemade, but they were all like poorly done. I think my Ninja Turtle costume was just like a green ski mask, and then I sewed on like basically that red bandana over it. But I was He-Man, a very like cheap He-Man. I was a Chippendale guy. I was like 6 different things in the scale of one night.
I'm going to take this off because I look like the Repo Man.
Yeah,
that's true. That's very true.
Oh man. Uh-oh. No, Shaggy, the funny thing is I was talking to someone today about the Halloween blizzard of 1991 up here in Minnesota. It was 1991. We got 18 inches of snow on Halloween.
Wow.
Oh.
And I remember it was actually the year after this, and I was Spider-Man, but I was Winter Fun Spider-Man because we had to like dress in parkas to go out. See, Mitch, that's what I was going to ask, but I didn't. His son.
Right. That's right. That's exactly what it is. The other Halloween question that Connor had was, do either one of you guys have any of the Halloween figures? Connor showed off that he has the Dracula Donnie. Emilio, did you ever collect any of the Universal Monster figures?
I never. Well, I never got the Universal Monster ones. Like that one. I remember. I think was it Leonardo was like a Wolfman or something.
Right. Exactly.
I got all of them right here.
Connor's excited. He's on his feet.
Oh,
there
that.
It is.
All right. Yeah.
This is the 2012. I customized mine, so he actually has.
Of course you did. Cool. Look at that. That's unbelievable.
The cool part is they light up.
Really?
Yeah, there's a battery pack I put inside. The problem was I glued them a little too tight last time, so I can't get it open anymore.
Oh,
but,
still looks unbelievable.
Let's see here. Oh no, I'm gonna knock over everybody. Actually,
feel free to just tell us. You don't know. He knows what they look like. You can just talk about them if you don't want to make the mess.
Huh?
Oh, that's hard to get.
April the bride.
The bride, nice.
Actually, I had to move Haunter because I have a shelf of ghosts.
Nice. Is it always a ghost? Oh, there's werewolf Leo.
Wolfman Leo. And he glows in the dark too. His shirt glows in the dark. It's kind of hard.
Did it always, or is that a customization you did?
No, I think it always did.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Or at least mine did. I don't know if that was factory or if,
maybe somebody else customized it.
Yeah, because I got Leo later. This is my OG one. This was the only one I had growing up.
Nice.
But I never had
that
any
one
of these
definitely
growing
goes for sure.
Dude,
yeah.
You can tell he had a little action going on.
It's well loved. Yeah.
Let's see. I got Dracula Don up there, but Connor already showed him off.
Yeah.
Where'd my Mikeys go? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I remember they had like a secondary thing. They made like a secondary one.
Oh, they two sets of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
The only one that I'm missing that I know of is Metaluna Raph.
Hmm.
The Metaluna mutant. Oh, David Tusser. Yeah, it girl. Close.
Oh, it does go. Okay, thanks, Tusser.
The
Do you have the Invisible Man, Mikey?
I do, and that's actually the one that I was looking for. He
okay.
either fell, like this is the
He's
credit.
invisible.
Or he went invisible.
Yeah.
God, here, you know what? I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second. Just
Sure.
I'm going to be digging for a
But
few.
yeah, those were it's funny with those, they just lit it like
Oh,
once they sort of like ran out of like content for like the shows, they're like, all right, let's just make Star Trek Leo.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Star
exactly
Trek
what I was
versions
thinking
of
as well. Yeah,
the
once they
Universal
ran out of
Monster
ideas.
versions.
And I mean, they really ran the gamut on ideas. We got Surfing Mikey, we got all the sports guys, we got the army guys, we got the military guys.
Yeah, the Samurai Leo that they did.
We're looking on eBay, and we found like a brain Raph and the invisible Mikey, Swamp Leo, and Brad.
Oh yeah, Swamp Leo's another one. The creature from the Black
Lagoon.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's the Frankenstein Mikey.
So if you could get one more of these monster figures, Connor, what would it be? What's your number one on top of your list?
Mikey.
The Mikey, talking to the mic. Which Mikey?
The Frankenstein.
Oh, that one right there. There you go.
Look at that. You found him.
Perfect timing.
I
love that figure.
My Series 2 figures, I must have put. They must be over on the shelf because I cannot figure out. Those are the ones that I'm missing. Is that entire wave?
These ones specifically are going up in value. That's this guy here. Mikey has his mask on here. He has a wrap for his head. This Donatello was something that I found at Retropalooza in Texas last weekend. Connor's been, I mean, obviously Halloween's coming. He's obsessed with Frankenstein right now, but just all monsters in general. So what I do when I go to these shows is I FaceTime with him, and I don't put it on my face. I turn the camera around, and we just walk around to the booths and show him. Yeah, exactly. Basically, do a remote toy hunt. And he spotted this guy, and we picked him up for. I think I paid $15 for him, which I think is a deal on this guy.
That's a good price.
On the back.
Yeah,
and it looks like he's in pretty good condition. You know.
He's in very good shape. Right.
The thing that always got me about that Donnie is this accessory right here, because I always thought this was a carrot.
Oh, he's got a steak.
He's got the steak. Yeah, I like that.
Yep. I always thought there was a carrot. My buddy
never came out.
Because I had Mummy, I had the Mummy Raph, and then my buddy had Donnie and Leo, and one of my other buddies had Mikey. So together, we had all the money.
There you go. You had the whole set, right?
Nice.
It worked.
Hey, you could trade. Hey, and I'll just take this one, and you take that one.
Oh, we did that like once, and my buddy Scotty absolutely destroyed one of the figures. Never again.
Scotty out of that group.
They're mine.
My buddy, a buddy of mine, he used to live in the apartment complex, the apartment building next to mine. He always used to borrow stuff from, like I would borrow stuff from him. He borrows stuff, but whenever I would get my stuff back, it'd all be all messed up.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like one time was with the GI Joes, where I think maybe the O-ring of it, they either pulled it out or whether, or his dad fixed it, but fixed it with the wrong bottom. So there's literally like one figure I'll have, like, he's just got the wrong legs.
Comics, they never did Splinter and Wolfman. Splinter never got a
that's a good idea.
That would have made a lot of sense.
I mean, he's sort of like sometimes he sort of looks wolfish. Whatever iteration they sort of redesign.
Well, especially that OG one, like with the big schnoz.
Yeah,
what year is that Donatello from? The Donatello Frankenstein?
That was from the 2012 series.
Okay, so, Connor's looking at a picture of the other 2012 monsters. Did all the other three come out? The Raph as Dracula, the Mikey as Wolfman, and Leo as Mummy?
Yep. Actually, Ollie has all of them upstairs. They're on his shelf right next to his bed.
Oh, awesome! All year or just October?
Yes.
Monsters, all year round. That's all good.
Absolutely.
Well, I take that back. We are missing Donnie or Raph as Dracula, because I found one without a cape, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I picked him up. I'm like, "This smells like weed." And I'm like, gonna put that down. But so I am on the lookout for one of those for him.
Yeah.
But it also, the funny thing is, without the cape, it just kind of looks like Pee Wee Herman. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like, oh, that's kind of weird. but yeah, I guess do you well, Dan, you already kind of ran through, you had a purchase. Emilio, did you pick up any like cool turtle stuff lately, or?
Well, no, I mean, I haven't. It's been a while. I mean, the most recent turtle thing I got was I picked up one of the NECA ones for a while ago.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
I usually just buy the ones that I
Yeah.
think are cool. I don't do the like too many of like complete collections. I mean, and then I got this guy
Oh,
here.
we
Who's
found
an
some
OG
side ones.
from my show.
Dude, I gotta find those Dark Turtles eventually. What up, Daniel? How's it going?
These are there. It's interesting because they can be a little bit hard to find. I mean, those came at like toward the end of that sort of stuff. So
Because I've been on the lookout for that, and I've been on the lookout for a fast forward Raph, because I have the other 3 turtles, and I'm like, I really would like to put the fast forward turtles on my shelf, because I know they're part of the 03 series, but
yeah,
it was a different look, you know.
it's funny, like one of the reasons why fast forward sort of came about is actually because of our regular show was getting too dark for playmates and all of them, and they sort of made the like, oh well, the Ninja Tribunal season of I think the 5th season, that season got pretty damn dark. Like there's if you remember, there's like the Baxter Stompman episode where he's essentially melting.
Yep.
Sure.
We also had another episode where the Hun was like a conjoined twin. Oh no, the Garbage Man was a conjoined twin that belonged to Hun, and the episode was about him getting him removed from his body. Literally, an episode about using acid to remove the. Yeah. So that actually did get fully animated, but it is also the episode that we totally cut, and we had this meeting and everything got out of control, and then the toy company said, how can we brighten this up? So a lot of that season we sort of like
the future.
We brightened up the colors, but then for the next one it was like, well, we want to do, the toy company said, hey, we want to do future vehicles. So we're like, how do we get this to work? So it's funny because like the transition between like early on, like season 1 through 5, it was very much, 1 through 5, it was very much like, we sort of dictated whatever was going on, and then the toy company would be like, hey, can you work this battle shell thing in here, or can you work this van in there? And then we put it in. But then as it sort of went on, they started to make more. They started making more requests. They started making more requests as to what things that they wanted to see on the show, and that was the reboot. There was also going to be a full-on reboot of the franchise where we were going to totally drop the whole continuity and go young, kind of like the current shows are now.
Right on. Wow, that would have been really cool, because I love the character design, and like I absolutely love the 03 series, and I kind of liked it because it did evolve. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's where like the 2012 series, I really enjoyed that too, because you definitely went like that.
Well, I feel like the 20, I remember when because while we were still working there, like 2009, that's about when Nickelodeon, we did Turtles Forever. That's after we did Turtles Forever. The franchise got sold to Nickelodeon, and then obviously I was always amazed how quickly Nickelodeon was able to pull it together. Like literally only a few years after of development after what we did. And I remember I was talking to my producer at the time. We all gone our separate ways, and she goes, that new Turtle show that's really good. I'm like. And she felt like weirdly ashamed about it. I'm like, because obviously she's like, she wanted to hate on it and all that stuff. I'm like, no, man, it's all good. It's like, we've had our time with it, and it's time to sort of let somebody else do something else with it. I've never had any, animosity toward the things. It's like, because I've seen the other side of it. I've worked on this stuff. Let somebody else have a chance at it, right?
Yeah. Oh, only thing I really didn't like about the 03 series, but it made sense, was combining Shredder and Krang into one character. Yeah, the Utrom Shredder.
Utrom Shredder. That was the reason. Now you realize the only reason it was a good reasoning where we could literally eviscerate the Shredder without getting a
because he was a robot.
because he's a robot. So
All right. It is. We are halfway through this wild adventure, and so I gotta shoot it out there. Gail Benning is gonna hop on with us, so we can just go hog on Talking Turtles. I am going to break into this thing and blow up this monstrosity.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mitch Falcon, that's right. He was a robot. Viacom Nick IDW made the good choice in hiring Kevin Eastman. That helped in the quick turnaround in the comic end of it. Yeah.
Kevin Eastman's such a really nice guy. I've actually got to meet him. Unfortunately, we never got to meet Peter Laird. He never came up to our studio.
He does not like traveling.
No, I've only met him at a convention once, and I'm like, hey, Peter, I work on the show.
Yeah.
But
I met him out on the East Coast once, and it was that thing of like, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he went, thank you. And then like turned around. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. I mean, you guys don't understand how hard it was to actually get him to approve doing our show. Because
Daniel throwing you some love.
Oh, thank you. It was hard for him to sort of approve our show because he was so burned on the last thing that they had done, and he wasn't.
Sure.
So when our credit to our producer, Lloyd Goffine, who essentially sort of assured him that we would take care of his characters and do the best that we could with them. So he really liked our show, and even when it came to doing Fast Forward, he sort of trusted us to do to do the best we could, even despite the request of the toy company.
No, for sure.
So
that's actually a really good segue, because real quick, again, we were talking about this a little bit before. So vintage, collection turtle blimp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great box art, everything looks good.
But it's the 2012 lower half.
Interesting.
So
I don't understand.
I pulled up a bunch of images to even look at it, because it is not the OG one. It is not the second release. It is the 2012 like drop downs, which is so flippin' weird. Dude, no worries, Mitch. I don't yuck anybody's yum, but real quick, I'm gonna add Gail to the stream. What's up, dude?
Hey.
How's it going?
What's up?
Gail, meet Emilio and Dan.
Hey, what's going on, Gail?
Well, that is a hell of a collection behind you.
I was
Look at
just
that,
that's where
man.
my looked exactly where I looked.
That is neat.
I'm going to bust into this. I figure you guys can talk turtles. I'm going to try not to pass out on camera. So
smart.
It's fun. I actually when I actually did the movie poster for Turtles Forever, right? And I remember drawing, like, because one of the biggest parts of it was also drawing the classic stuff. A lot of our modern turtles were always sort of drawn, so that you could easily redraw them. That's the way a lot of animation design is sort of done. So it was interesting to actually go back and draw all the old turtles and try to get them on model.
We got a little breaking news.
Oh, what?
Check this out.
Whoa.
Oh.
We got Dirtbag and Ground Chuck.
Look at
first
that.
look from the Whoosh.
So
did we order these already?
Yep.
We've seen these already, but did we order these?
Yep. These have already been up for order.
Oh, look at how good these look.
Does his torso come off, or you could literally?
Yep. So you can make it look like he's
coming out of the ground. I would want to do that. Just have him as just coming out of a little.
I would too, just to be based on the amount of figures there are. You're going to need space. Like that's going to be a space saver as far as.
I want that figure.
But then I feel bad spending $25 on a figure I'm only going to use half of.
Yeah.
So then, Dan, you're a completist.
Yes, sir.
In that, so how far out are you predicting for the space available in your collection?
That's my problem, man. I have look at that poster. Emilio, you said you did this poster?
Yes, that's it.
Thank you, Emilio, for all your hard work on that. I love that movie.
Thank you.
So
like all of the elements are all separated so that our graphics
too.
Yep, that was really hard to get right. We didn't have a complete model sheet of that, so it was like literally like looking at the model sheet, all blurry, and then also looking at episodes to see which ones. That's the separated elements.
That looks great. Jeez,
that's my also thing, and that's a lot of my thumbnail work on there.
Yeah.
The inspiration for the poster was actually, something, was
So this is
Transformers the movie.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was gonna ask. I was like, dude, you got the touch.
Yep, that's what I was sort of going for. I remember like that,
Thank you, Gail.
and drawing the guys there, the old OG Turtles. One thing when I because I did the character design, the color design on the characters, and one thing I tried to capture is that sort of old sort of feel to them. So all the old turtles are all their color design is all tilts warm. So in other words.
Okay.
So in other words, to kind of give that old animation sort of feel, where that old film used to do.
Connor's never seen that Toka and Razor before.
Oh yeah,
he's in love.
Toka and Razor, we actually tossed them as one of the additional mutants that we put into the into the movie. So at one point, two rando guys just turned into Toka and Razor just for the fans, because I feel like we're celebrating, at least for this is like the 25th anniversary. We're sort of celebrating all things turtle. So we tried to include as many different things in there.
Well, it was also kind of like a farewell animation to Mirage and that transition.
Yeah. And we tried to get everything. We got the Japanese turtles. We put the a couple of the movies. We also, there's this one point where they show all the different dimensions of the different turtles.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much fun stuff in that scene.
We tried.
2007 turtles are in there.
Yeah,
the Image Comics turtles are in there.
Yes, we did the Image comic. We took a what was it? Eric, one of the Eric Larson covers, and we removed Savage Dragon from it because it was a Savage Dragon and Ninja Turtles cover. And we have the Sean Thomas turtles. Is that
that's a seal.
It comes with a vinyl repair kit.
Yeah,
nice.
That's awesome.
That's kind of funny.
So sorry, there's one thing about that new blimp that really bothers me. There are no top hole hangers on the top of the blimp to hang it from your ceiling. They've removed that, and in fact, you can see like factory machining changes. Like they sealed that area, like it used to have it, and they've removed it.
In general, Playmates. I've said this before. Playmates, you reused a lot of their molds and stuff over and over and over again. So I'm guessing probably the reasoning behind them even using the 2012 redo of that thing is probably because, again, they removed the part where you drop all the bombs and stuff like that. So they're just like, all right, we can't use the bomb dropping thing without the bombs or anything. So we'll just put this one on there.
Dude, one of my favorite reuses from Playmates was the 2012 Samurai Turtle horses were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 horses. Reused.
Yeah. Right? And then
like childhood.
The 2003 the 2003 vehicle that was the sewer lid thrower was the pizza thrower.
Yep.
Yeah, they would always do that sort of stuff.
I just picked. I was going to bring it down, and actually, it's up in our living room right now. But I picked up the pie tosser from Chicken Run in box, and it is a straight up re-release. But it has Mr. Tweedy from the Chicken Run movie.
I didn't know that one. That's interesting.
Mitch, it does smell like an inner tube. And then I unfolded it, and there was like a pocket of like, hey, no, it's really toxic smelling this.
I would expect it to smell like a beach ball, right?
It does.
A very fresh beach ball.
Yeah, like when you just buy the beach ball from the store, it just sort of.
I've never heard a beach ball referred to as fresh. That's a fresh beach ball.
But
Here we go, folks.
Yeah, like on Playmates, it was always sort of difficult for us to like whenever we would do designs and stuff, or sort of. Because one thing also I was in charge of at the studio was, doing what is called client models. So I would essentially, whenever a new episode would come along, I'd, have a smattering of the different, props and stuff, and, send them over to the toy company.
The original one didn't have the hangy holes?
I know that the 2012.
I will say that if anybody would know about the OG stuff, it'd be Tussler. Oh, thank you, man. You're wonderful. My wife rules. She
heard.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
It
It's
is
the same thing.
It is
Oh,
I'm
man.
so
That's Playmates for you, man.
I'm so confused. Where did your wife get this from?
No, I got it down at Nerdin' Out from my buddy Aniel Toro, which, by the way, check him out, Old School Toros
There you
on
go.
Instagram.
Did you pick that up in box only because it's the original pizza shooter?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I also picked it up because for me, my wife loves the Aardman films and whatnot.
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah. Wallace and Gromit. Yeah.
I'm like, this is us coming together. This is both of our lives.
Crossover.
And she's just like, yeah, okay.
Aw.
Oh, the 2012 did have a hanging hole. There we go.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm remembering.
Like Dwight with Slice Bomb. Well, he made it purple.
Who knows? Maybe they were like, man, we need to save on some plastic. Cut it off.
Well, but wait, so I could be wrong. Like, if the blimp itself is the vintage blimp, but the hanging carriage is 2012, well, then the vintage blimp wouldn't have had that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so.
All right, Emilio, Connor's very curious, and I don't know the answer to this. Are there any figures for Turtles Forever?
Turtles Forever, unfortunately, no.
I don't
That was
think
done
so.
it was done at the end of production.
Okay.
And literally it was supposed to go to Blu-ray and to DVD through our company, but again, like we literally got the franchise. Peter Laird sold the franchise to Nickelodeon, and that was it. I actually, in fact, on my I posted it a while ago, but literally it was like the shots of us shipping over, because essentially, Nickelodeon came over and took all of our production art, and then we were all to go into storage and stuff.
Wow.
So it was a big deal.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Gail. Gail, welcome. We never really got the intro on Gail.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, sure.
Just to say one thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourselves to the chat, and honestly to me, because I don't know your background, I don't know what you do, I don't know where you're from. So tell me all about you.
Sure.
Gail is a regular in the chat, actually.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
buddy.
see, I knew I recognized the name. Do you have any
Yeah.
Turtle connection other than just being a big time fan?
I don't have any official connections. I do interact with the original guys, like just yesterday talking with Michael Dooney. I made him a shirt and we're doing a trade, and that's
that's awesome.
Awesome. Like my favorite artist is Jim Lawson. Like whatever's going on with the current comics is great and I collect them, but like the original core group of guys
Props to
is
Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch.
Good gravy, Mitch.
And you got an IMDb.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I do have an
Don't worry.
IMDb. But like during that transition in 2009, I happened to be doing a graphics illustration that I sent out to Peter, and he loved it, and he sent it to the other guys. And instead of what people normally do, which is like, oh, we're doing a 25th anniversary, or we're just doing a homage, as an artist, my own version of the Turtles, blah, blah, blah. Everybody does that. I did an illustration of the Mirage guys.
Nice. Great idea.
And all of their heads. And I did it before the sale even happened. And but right before, and like I think it hit a little bit more home than I thought it was going to, because they knew what was going on. And so that ended up getting shared all over the internet.
That's great, man.
Yeah, that's
I
really
need to check out some of your work.
Yeah.
I'm only a little lightheaded, but that's
looking good, right there, man.
I like that the shape is not the bottom part, maybe 2012, but the shape of the balloon is definitely not.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got
It's
all that nice
definitely
airbrushing on there.
I think it looks really good.
I think I'm gonna leave it inflated like this for a little bit, and then I'm gonna blow it up with.
I want to do helium.
Oh, so
would it float?
story.
Why not?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is it light enough where it would float?
So yes.
You've seen this?
When I was a little boy, my buddy Scotty, different Scotty, had this, and his parents got one of those little like helium like pony kegs.
Yeah.
And like filled it up, and it doesn't like but it's enough of just like yep.
Yeah, it gives it like a little buoyancy.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this is awesome.
I would be too worried that my
that's
toys
fun.
would just float away and I'd never see them again. But that's a good idea.
Also, the like chromed out, like I want these engines to be sculpted.
Right?
What dirigible had
Like,
those?
That's like Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, right.
style,
That's
where,
a good
let's
call.
Let's get that 3D. You know.
Is that the art that was on the original blimp?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
They probably still have all those stuff,
I love these little nods, like the lamp that for some odd reason is sticking out on the wood plank that had the
that's
turtle
inside
look.
of it. Yeah.
Like,
Donnie was innovative.
Yeah.
I always wondered about like Playmates' they must keep really good like mold records or whatever, because they're able to essentially reuse a bunch of this old stuff that's like over 20 years old and just like, all right, it's the new one. Boom, boom.
That's a good call. It's one thing
I
to
would-
reuse something for Chicken Run, which is a couple years later, but to reuse something in 2021 that came out in 1987, that's a long time.
And that's from
Good
2009,
gravy,
huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
That's
it's
phenomenal.
I'm missing Craig, but
You know,
That's
Casey
great.
Farley, but he's super elusive at that time. And I,
That's super cool, dude.
even
Yeah,
at that
absolutely,
at
man.
that time, he like gave me a little bit of a
It feels like a jungle snake.
Give you a
jump.
little
It's the
thing.
same.
yeah. He was like, "Why didn't you include me?" And I was like, "I didn't have a picture."
you know, you know.
Okay.
Speaking of Eastman and Laird on Turtles Forever, we actually had them, cameo in the
Yep, they're in the
episode
police
at the end.
car.
No, they're not. They're not. I think they're in it, but they're actually talking at the end of the film.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah,
they're sort of
it's where
Oh,
it
right.
zooms out
Yeah.
and it has the black and white.
where that's actually hilarious part about that is that I redrew the cover because we didn't have the original art, so me and the team literally redrew the whole the covers.
That's
for those,
awesome.
to be
That's
props
awesome.
for that live action sequence. But unfortunately, we couldn't actually get Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman in the same place at the same time because they kind of utterly hated each other.
Sure.
At that time, yeah.
So it was like we had to like record them separately and then essentially just put them together.
Oh man, I'm having flashbacks with the amount of zip ties on these because it's like, yeah, all right.
So this is early unboxing day.
It is. You know what? This is. Oh my god, I am a little bit more lightheaded than I thought I was.
Hey, take a couple of breaths.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that.
Is that the new one as well?
Oh,
It's the new one.
Okay.
yeah.
I could tell by the or maybe it's just the camera coming through. But is the accessory pieces more red than orange?
Here's the side. It's all the same
Okay, yeah,
plastic.
maybe that is orange. Okay, maybe that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Does it
orange.
look original?
It doesn't. The other thing
Aw.
that really irritated me, and this is based on memory, I never had this as a kid, so I couldn't tell you how it was packaged originally, and I don't have a vintage one. So maybe you can answer this. Did you have to apply the stickers?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, you
absolutely.
did.
Okay. So
There is-
Playmates applies the stickers.
Oh no.
Yeah. Look at.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, because I do
Interesting.
Legos, and like I'm super fastidious about applying my stickers.
I was gonna say if I had to apply the stickers, I would have applied it like 4 times worse than that much. But if you're
Yeah,
like
but-
meticulous as it is,
yeah.
like I could see how that'd be annoying.
I know as a kid I never liked it that the stickers were never the decals or stickers were never put on there because it's like, oh
But
man,
yeah,
I gotta put these stickers
Well,
on here.
I just
And
spent
I
40
agree
minutes
with
building
all
the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
I agree with all that, but if
Well,
that's the
yeah.
way it's going to be applied,
I mean, yeah,
Agreed.
you
Yeah.
probably applying the sticker would have been a lot better than they did. They just went up and then slapped
Right,
it on
yeah.
there.
I'm legitimately surprised that they applied them prior to shipping. Like they applied them
Yeah.
themselves. Like that's so time
Yeah, the only-
consuming.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, the only thing that
Yes, man.
I had to do was put in and it's
Put the-
falling apart. putting in all of these pieces, but
There is
I think you had to do that in the vintage one too. So
there is like one home movie that my family has, and it's Christmas 1991, which is when I got that party wagon at my grandma's house. And I was, like I said, I was like 4, and literally I open up, I go, oh my god, it's the party wagon, and like it pans over like 15-20 minutes later, I finally have it like all out, And I'm walking to my brother. I go, "Can you put on the stickers?"
Help me.
One of those things that's why it's just like, no, you had to put on the stickers, because I remember being a 4-year-old going,
Right.
I have a sticker book. This is a terrible choice. Like,
Yeah.
my brother.
I never got to hear your answer, Dan, about.
I'm sorry.
We moved on to something else. About how you figure out how you broadcast or forecast your ability to display such an extensive line.
That's the problem, right? Like, they released that diorama for the cartoon set, and you're like, okay, great, I've got somewhere to put my guys. But by the time we got the diorama, I could fit maybe a quarter of the guys that they've released in total, and we still have a ton more that are going to be shipping. I don't think we've showed a picture on, just because I'm not very prepared for the show. But I have a whole jewelry display case that is dedicated. Right now, it's dedicated half and half. The right half is, I've cleared out all the shelves and everything, and the right half is the original. Are those the fins?
It's the 2012.
Oh, Dave, you're supposed to put those on before, I think.
Yeah, no, it's the 2012 fins.
Oh, yeah, deflate it and then reinflate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it is the 2012 fins, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting.
That's very weird.
All
right, but yeah, so half of it is the original turtle layer with my original turtles and all that stuff in there, and then on the left I have the diorama. Now inside there I have none of the figures, because the NECA figures are so time consuming to unbox and to get them ready, and then you have to I put mine in a plastic bag. I put that bag in like boiling or very hot water, and I move all the joints to unstick all the paint and everything. And it's just so time consuming. I haven't found the time to do any of it. I have all of mine still unboxed on top of my glass display case. Eventually, when that week comes, when I have to go ahead and spend that entire week unboxing everything, then I'm going to see how everything fits. But I believe what I'm going to have to do, the display case is like 7.5 feet long. I think I'm going to have to take out the vintage stuff, move that to a different place, and then just fill.
Keep the place set.
Oh, you're okay. So apparently Connor's going to steal the original
he's
place.
He's claimed it.
You're right, Bill. I got to do it again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're never gonna see that.
And then I'm going to fill the rest, the entire 7 feet with the with all the cartoon line. And they don't. The problem is they don't even seem to be slowing down at this point.
That's amazing.
Well, okay. So with all of that,
do?
with all of that, I mean, I think I've shown my allegiance here.
Yeah.
Are you just strictly Super 7?
Okay, I've got the 4 frogs sitting right there, just laying down, because you can't stand them on glass. By the way,
really?
No. Yeah.
Why does glass man?
They won't stand up.
Yeah,
Really?
there's no grip on the
Yeah.
We need tape.
And I'm out of stands right at the moment. And I've got Chrome Dome, and I've got Baxter and Splinter and the Triceratons, and that's it. But do you know why? Because that short list, that is all I've seen in the wild ever.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, and that's kind of how I'm treating them, is like, I see it in the wild, I'm going to get it.
Mondo Gecko is another one that's like fairly common right now.
Never
seen that
wild.
one. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I have 2 Walmarts and a Target, and obviously that only
honestly,
allows for the Target, but
it's very, very tough. The distribution with all of these, unless you're going to Targets every day, or unless you have some sort of connection to the guy who works the electronics counter in Target,
or you're in Minnesota, because there's a billion Targets here.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, I found almost all of mine. I can't think of what I had to get off the store that I didn't find in store. I think I found everything in store, but it's also because I'm going to my Target every day. And if you don't have the time to do that, you can't.
Mine's half an hour away, so.
Oh, sure. See, mine is 3 minutes away.
Yeah,
that totally makes sense. If you don't have the time to devote to collect these things, and you don't want to pay these secondary market prices, which honestly aren't even that high, the secondary prices for these things go for like $80 a box when you're paying $55 anyway. So it's not a huge markup on the secondary market, but it's still more than going to Target and picking these up. If you don't want to do that, then you really don't have another option, and unless NECA goes the route of releasing them on their website. But in that case, you pay $15 shipping anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there really is no win.
No, there isn't. And that's why I had to curtail everything to Super 7 and the 90s figures from NECA.
I was going to from NECA. Which
the
90s?
90s movie figures.
Oh, okay. The movie figures.
So I am doing that, and I have to find that. And thankfully, I just finished by getting the Casey Jones and I had the Shadow Warriors. I had both of those. I bit the bullet and had to do secondary market because I never saw them. But I'm like feeling some relief because I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we're not gonna get Tatsu. Everybody's kind of accepted that, which sucks. And unless they're gonna do the police chief and Danny's dad, which I'm open to that, but I doubt that they would.
As long as they're skill better, Jesus.
No, that's the second one.
Oh, okay, you're only talking about the first one. Okay.
I'm not doing Secret Use. That's actually a lie. I do have Super Shredder, but that was because I saw him in the wild.
Okay. No Token Razor?
No, never saw him.
Those figures are unbelievable.
I have a little bit of regret for that. I agree.
Okay.
But
now, do you collect the vintage line?
I did make.
Look at this Tatsu. Look at this Tatsu.
That's great.
That looks dead on.
What body is he using? Is that just the Shredder one?
This is my original Orokusaki and Amaka Yoshi 2-pack.
Okay.
They fell off my shelf and like busted in a way I didn't know NECA figures could bust.
Whoa!
I
really?
combined the two figures together. And this is actually Orokusaki's head. I just shaved it down and repainted.
Is that his face?
Yeah.
Repainted.
Repainted, sure. But still, dude, unbelievable work.
That looks great.
Mass produce that.
Go, play, have fun.
So, Gail, do you collect the vintage? You're a big Super 7 guy. How far are you on the Super 7 line before I ask my next question?
So admittedly with that, I'm not a completist. And I will share that I did not get Scratch, and that was
okay. It's a big reveal. Okay,
but no, and I should leave right. No, but I also had no connection to Scratch. I mean,
and that's where I was at too, and like legit when I was so angry when Alex was like, "Oh, that's my rookie figure." I'm like, "No!"
Yeah,
I finally was able to save some money.
Yeah.
And same here on Scratch too. I don't have very much of a connection to him.
He was an end of the line figure.
Yeah, and so I mean, I understand the mythos of all of that, but I don't care. You know, it's all about the nostalgia for me. So back there, Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Splinter, April, Metalhead, and the 3 turtles we have so far. And that's all I've got.
Okay.
But that's only the 3 waves we've got, right? So I did pre-order Casey Jones and Donatello, and that was it for
Collect with Chris. Throw it out there if you need a token Red.
Okay.
The reason that I always ask Super 7 guys, and I if you want to collect Super 7, feel free. If you want to collect the vintage, feel free. If you want to collect both, that's where I have a question. That's where I start to question it because they're basically the same figures.
Right.
And if you're collecting both, it's like everything is getting re-released right now, right?
So vintage is up here.
Okay.
And it's Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Krang, Foot Soldier, Splinter, the 4 Turtles, Casey, April, Fugitoid, and Rat King. So I'm missing from my childhood. I'm missing Leatherhead and Metalhead.
Gail messaged me because or just remind me. I might have a spare Leatherhead for you.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's it. I mean, for me, it's of that stuff. The only one that's from my childhood that's original, which I'm totally jealous, Emilio, that you actually have your original.
Right?
Yeah.
Is April. Everything else I've
that's interesting.
I've never I never was able to find April. That's the only one that I don't have. I have all of the turtles. I have most of the bad guys from the originals, but never get April.
Emilio, drop me a line. I might.
I'm sure I have an April if you need one.
I literally.
We have an April in the box if you want it.
That's true. We do have one.
I wouldn't take that. You can hold on to that.
I'm not an inbox collector, as you can see. But
sure, no, neither.
But that's the thing. Then you've got all these Super 7 boxes up there.
Oh yeah,
the boxes are cool.
You got high ceilings.
I do have high ceilings.
Yeah, he's got room. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 9 feet tall or 7 feet tall display.
Geez.
But but I don't know. Okay, I just love Super 7 as a company and their transparency and all of that.
Sure,
and,
I can understand
the underdog and all that aspect. And
the figures are good. Their products
the figures
are
are great.
good.
Oh,
The sculpture is great. You know, they're a nice. They're a company of 50 people. You know, I like supporting all of that. And I like guaranteeing I'm gonna get the thing.
Okay,
Instead of I'm not a fan of the NECA hunt.
I don't blame you. There's no guarantee to it. There's no nothing.
It doesn't thrill me.
At the end of the day, it could just be a big waste of time when you're trying to hunt these things down, and that's not fun. I totally get that. I can't justify picking up figures that I've already collected once just because they're more articulated. It's the same thing with there's new Transformers in stores, there's new Ghostbusters, there's new Power Rangers, there's new He-Man. Everything is
turtles.
There's turtles. Yeah, the turtles are in stores right now, and they're all more articulated than they were, but they're basically on the same packaging and they look exactly the same. I just wallet-wise, I can't justify collecting the same figure twice. If my rule is if there is two versions of the figure, one is in 2021 or whatever the current year is, and the other one is vintage, if I'm interested in it, I'm always going to go to the vintage one. Now, if they don't make a vintage one and they come up with something new, then I'll go to that new line. And then my only caveat to this, the only outlier is this NECA cartoon set. That's the only ones that I'll go around.
And they didn't exist. Okay, well, so my argument, I agree with you. But I think I would actually go with Super 7 on things like Sewer Surfing Mike, as an example.
Sure.
He's got all the sculpt happening that the original vintage figure had, but every area that should be painted, representing a crab that's on his leg, is actually painted now. And I love that.
I agree. It's awesome. It's don't get me wrong. The figures are awesome. Let alone the sculpts, just the amount of even the articulation is awesome. For me, it's not enough to sway me to open up the wallet again and pick, especially at the price tag that these things are. How much does an ultimate go for?
55.
Yeah.
55. I was gonna guess 30. 55. Oh man. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely out on these.
It's funny. It's funny on those like those ones. That was the one moment where I said, you know, maybe I wanted to pick them up. Because, you know, I'm sort of like you where it comes to like if you don't have like I have a lot of the older ones, so I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't need to have them because I got the old ones. But I was looking at the you know, the Sewer Surfing Mike and the Samurai Leo, and I was like, oh, I really like those.
Yeah, even the Ace Duck is awesome.
Yeah, and I never had an Ace Duck.
Okay, there you go.
But I love the new features of the Ace Duck. Right. Also, I love the kind of grimacing face he has and the cigar in his mouth. Like Playmates would have never made a cigar.
True.
For a kid.
The 1949 look.
Right. And so that's what I'm displaying him with. How you doing over there, Dave?
That looks great. Look at that thing.
There you go.
There we go. It's got the fins. It's ready to roll. I'm ready to fall over.
Yeah.
Very nice work.
Woo. All right. That's, you know what? Cool. Here, you know
great.
what? And Emilio, since you're on first pilot, 03 Mikey.
03 Mikey.
Oh, by the way,
Perfect.
You have a Raph. I'm Raph.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We're complete.
God.
You ever
Remember how we talking about Who's Turtles?
For it's funny the voice actor from who did Michelangelo on our show, he used to use a pseudonym.
Okay.
Yeah.
He used to. It was he was called Wayne Grayson or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. If you're gonna use a pseudonym, come on. You're gonna use something so obvious that it is a fake name, Wayne Grayson.
Yeah.
Hold on. This can stand up.
Oh,
yes.
look at that.
So
Did the original one stand up?
the original one had wheels that could turn, so you could like roll it.
Okay, sure.
That has sculpted wheels, but they're solid.
Ta-da!
It's really hard to see, but it is standing on the floor.
Nice.
I imagine that meme now with Will Smith going.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Oh man,
Did you guys ever go for the 1/6 scale line of turtles that they did a while? Oh well, you're of course you have it.
That's actually what these boxes are from right here. Those
geez, I didn't even realize that.
Those are the 4 Mondo boxes.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have at least one of them. I have the Casey that they got.
That was DreamX. DreamX did the 4. I don't have those ones. I have the Mondo ones because I got my hands on the DreamX Raphael at the shop that I worked at the time.
Yeah,
and the articulation was no good. Like, because I have Casey, Shredder, and then Krang in Android Body that they and April, because those two were released after they lost the license, so it went from April O'Neil to Nushen, and Krang ended up being Android Brainiac or something like that.
Oh no!
But the turtles, like, you couldn't, like, for the elbows, you could only bring their arm up about that far.
That's disappointing.
Because the elbow pads were in the way?
Yeah, the elbow pads were in the way, and the joints weren't double jointed or like double elbows or anything.
Yeah, they were like single joints. At least the Casey's like that. He's sort of like a normal 1/6 scale body, and all single elbow joints and stuff like that.
And that broke my heart because though, like, the DreamX turtles looked like the 03 designs. They looked like the Matsuda designs, and I was like, I want those. And after, like, I saw the wrap, and like the thing was, you could pop his arms out, and he had a pre-posed set of like cross arms. But like, in order to do it, you had to take the arms and go, and then like peg it in, and it's like, that's gonna break.
Yeah.
Like, over time, that is gonna become less supple, and that is going to break.
I know they did a Shredder too, as I remember.
Yep.
I wondered.
He's down there behind everything.
Oh.
But
I'm freaking out right now. I'm still going through my emails trying to figure out if that Wingnut ever got released. Was it pre-orderable?
Hold on.
I think. Well, again, I'm not the best one to ask because I'm not buying them, but I swear that they were only teased.
Noise.
Hold on. That might be right. Because I don't have any. I can't miss this. It's. Sure. I actually shouldn't even say that. The last like 3 or 4 NECA releases for this cartoon set have been. I would almost suggest people hold off on ordering through NECA to avoid that $15 shipping charge.
Right. Just turn around and go to the store.
Because they've been so plentiful, right?
Yeah.
That last set of frogs, the day they went up for order, I was like, the first set of frogs took a while to show up here in Minnesota. I'm like, I'm just going to do it that way. I don't have to go out. I hit order, confirm order. My buddy Matt texts me, look what I found at the store. Right.
Absolutely. Same thing with Chrome Dome was the same way. Yep. It's a risky move, right? Like, you don't want to, I believe they're announcing on Tuesday that they said that there's going to be a online sale for Wingnut and Screw Loose. Assuming we haven't ordered those already, I would almost... I'm on the fence as far as whether I want to hold off on ordering those or not. This is confusing, right? Because they have so many pre-orders.
And I think that's where I got turned around, because I swear those had gone up. But maybe it was just the initial tease.
Oh, I'm going to end up with 2 of these. I know it.
So fun fact, actually, before Turtle Talk started, before the Dave Wonder channel even started, Dan, as I knew him at the time, Mark, was dubbed the NECA Whisperer by the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast crew.
Sure.
Oh.
And I remember, I think it was one of the first times I was talking to you. I was just like, dude, how do you do this? And you're like, I go to a lot of Targets.
It's not even a lot of Targets. I go to a Target.
I go to a lot of Targets. How many Targets do you go to? Like,
oh man, I've never had any luck with I have like the worst Target on the planet. They literally have.
You only have one, Emilio?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I mean, have like maybe there's a few in a couple of areas. I don't actually own a car, so it's like kind of it's a little difficult to get around. But so in general, but it's like the one Target that's close to me. I'm surprised when it has anything. Like, one point it's like oh, and I just literally impulse buy it because I'm like so happy to see something. Yeah, like the NECA shelf is like looks like hasn't been like updated in like years. I mean, there's still all the old Back to the Future figures, Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan, all that stuff is still there.
Doom. In my area, it's what do you got here?
This you can't see it. There we
That's
go.
a Super Shredder.
It's Super Shredder. There were 3 cases at my Walmart, and I'm like,
but that is that's the European one that's based on
and I didn't get that one. I have the black one, but
didn't love it.
But 3 cases of the one figure, and also this Walmart never ever has anything.
Okay, there you go. That's something.
But
so
they have to have some order incentive or something, because basically I noticed this on a couple weeks back, me and a couple of my buddies went up and closed up. We have 2 old shacks up in the Northwoods, so we were winterizing them, and we were like, we're gonna hit every Target, every Walmart, like we're gonna hunt, because we like none of us do that, and we're just like, we're gonna do it. We can
make this happen,
And I saw so many of those flipping Super Shredders, but I found one peg that had the Ultimate Casey tag on it, and I asked, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't order any of those."
And so right under that, again, can't see it, is 1 full case of the Casey, which I had already just got on eBay because I was like, I'm never ever going to see it.
That's the worst too, right?
See it anywhere.
Wow, I've never seen Casey in store. I'm still looking. I'm looking for a Casey for me. Cardona still needs one.
What's up, Grid?
Smart Mark needs one. My wife is on here. That's my wife, the Next Level Grid.
Oh, right on. Well, hi. You are inspirational, madame.
He just ran out of the room with wearing the headphones.
I think Cardona has that Casey, because I offer, because I had gotten one in hand, and then my buddy was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna drop this off for you," and I'm like, "What is it?" And he's like, "It's a Casey." I'm like, "Yeah." So I messaged Cardona, and he said that he already had it.
Oh, maybe. You know what? Cardona needs the disguise set. If anybody in the chat still has that extra disguise set, hit Cardona up. He definitely needs one.
Yeah.
And I know Mark still needs and I still need the Casey Jones.
Right on.
And that one I'm even on the fence on.
Well, if I get back over there, I'll pick it up.
Oh, please let me know, brother. It's not a figure I desperately need. It's only a maskless Casey for a Casey I already have. But
and that was my thing. Is like,
how bad do I need to see his face? Yeah,
there was nothing different about it. All the accessories were in the 2-pack with Raph.
So I put him up with Orokusaki and Hamato Yoshi and April and Danny. So that's all like the human faces.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
My 2-pack Casey head sucked. The paint on it was like globbed into the slots and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm gonna swap this head out, and I repainted that head into battle damaged Casey. So I'm eventually gonna make my own version of Casey Jones, and that's gonna be his mask.
And obviously the other difference being his elbows, but that's not that's here nor there for me.
And the funny thing is about it, it's not that big a difference, to be quite honest, because the way that you have to pose them and everything, it's.
I can't remember what your opinion was on April's knees.
Okay, Chris, I'll hit you up. I'll get you in contact with Cardona.
Yeah. Or just you
can just message him. I mean, you don't have to go through me.
Yeah. Either way. Oh, Super Spike. Yeah, I can't find that freaking man. Gail, you might have just set yourself up for a bit.
Well, and who knows? Because that's the problem I have with the whole NECA thing. The whole fiasco about it is I could go back, having seen 3 there yesterday, and they'll all be gone.
I was going to say, I'd be surprised if they were still
there. But
they're
one guy, and then boom, they're on eBay. And it's just like so.
Well, and that's
deflating.
Like a big problem here too. Is there's a couple local groups here, and the one that kind of was the starter of it all. It like there's still some really good people in there, but it's really clear that there's a lot more folks in there that just do the trip and flip, and it's like, that's a bummer.
Because I don't have a problem going there and buying 3, but going to my group of friends. Staying in, because that whole like flipping thing.
Never mind. There we go.
The whole flipping thing is just like, you don't care. The person buying it doesn't care about the product. It's just what they're going to make from it, and that's just dumb.
Well, and it is, and it just it gets old, like it's just like, oh come on, like I love hitting, because as I think everybody knows, I'm a comic artist, and I do all that stuff, so I tour a lot and do a lot of shows, and it's one of those things of like, I go to so many shows, I'm like, that's why I couldn't find that figure, Like
Sure.
every vendor booth has like 12 of those guys.
Yeah.
Flooding Sona games.
But it's half that, and it's half. This is coming from me, who is. I don't want to say I'm a flipper because I don't flip modern stuff. I actually hate flipping modern stuff. But I have an eBay store. It has 400 items on it, but it's all like stuff that I'm passionate about because that's what I like picking up and that's what I know about.
Yeah.
It's all like vintage Transformers and G.I.
But see,
Joes
I would inherently, I would inherently say anything that is vintage, you cannot.
I don't think that's
flipping.
flipping. Yeah,
you
it's not scalping. I'll say it is flipping because I am flipping it from $2 to $3, but it's not scalping. It's not scalping. And I honestly, if based on the ability that I'm able to get the NECA figures, if they went for more online, I would absolutely pick them up and flip every single one of them. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just this is probably a controversial take on it, but I think it's just a result of putting in the work and putting in the time. Work, quote unquote, is the time that we're putting in to find them. And if that's where I happen to be and that's where I happen to land, then sure, I can pick up as many as I want and I can sell them for whatever I want. That's just the free market that we live in.
Yeah.
That said, margin-wise, it just doesn't work. Like I said, these things don't flip for that much, so I don't pick them up. But also, that said, most of you guys are in that turtle chat that we have.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly in there like, hey, I'm at the store. Does anybody need this, or this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotten to the point where I only do that because I'm coming into so much stuff. I'm at Target every day. I see every new release that's out there.
Yeah.
I don't pick all that stuff up because one, I don't want to deal with the secondary market of people who are flipping modern stuff. And then two, I don't want to have a mini Target in my basement where I'm just waiting for friends to need these figures. I don't really know the point I'm trying to make here. I'm just trying to say that there is more of it. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that every figure that gets picked up, the every figure that gets picked up, and the reason that the shelves are bare isn't necessarily because of flippers. It's exactly what you said. A lot of times when I'm at the store, I see guys filling their carts with these things, but it's because they are part of groups and because they are helping out friends, or because they are guys who like to buy one to open and buy a second one to keep in box and buy a third one in case it goes up in value or whatever they do. There's a lot of different reasons, and I think that scalpers and flippers get a lot of the hate that's sure, some of the hate that scalpers garner is definitely warranted, but I think most of it is not. I think a lot of it goes to the collectors who are bloodthirsty for collecting these figures, and they'll do any. Though they were the ones that are camp out at Walmarts and Targets and try to find these figures.
Well, and I think that's all right. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, you get what I mean. So it's a lot goes into it. Yeah,
but I mean the thing is. With so much modern product, it's not an issue, anymore. Like a lot of the time, kind of like Gail was saying, like Emilio was saying too. There's nothing there,
right? And that's exactly why. It's because of the scalpers. It's because of the collectors. It's because of the pandemic. The shortage on plastic in general. Just the products are down.
Oh yeah. Jungle Snake John. Dan has always hooked me up. I don't think he's even made $1 off me. No heat on Dan whatsoever. I mean, no. I can vouch for him.
But so the picture I have there, the full case of Casey Jones, which is 4, that theoretically is 4 weeks worth of product at Walmart.
Yeah,
that's how it's brought in.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so because it's a product, it's not. They don't. That's the. If you go watch Spectre Creative on YouTube, he really talks a lot about the way, the mentality, and why Walmart and Target have really shifted the market a lot compared to the way that Toys R Us used to purchase, and even the way that GameStop purchases. And so, if that's 4 weeks of product, and they get purchased at by one person, one go.
It's a month.
Then you're out for a month. And so when we go and we look, and that's why I'm surprised you even go every day, Dan. What is there to look at every day?
Sure.
It's
not always turtles. It's
sure. Yeah.
I just like looking at what's new. I like looking at the Marvel Legends or the Transform, all the stuff I don't collect and I never pick up. But I also, because I do this and people have gotten to know what I do, I've gotten a lot of connections and people are always telling me what they're looking for. So if I can help somebody else out, absolutely. It's just a good time.
Joe and Blue brings up, do you think figure companies allow scalping because it benefits them? And
Of course.
I think it's supply and demand to an extent, and I mean, but at the same time, you've seen some companies kind of try to combat it, or at least go, no, look, we're trying. Yeah, Super 7 is
Super 7 is very active about what kind of model can we have that prevents that.
Oh, there we go. Before shipping hikes, I usually got my NECA TMNT fix from Robot Kingdom. Took longer, but at least there was no hassle. Are we moving to a direct to seller for most toy comedy? I feel like it. I mean, because like Emilio, like we were talking again. Emilio and I ended up talking like what, a half hour before the stream even.
Oh yeah,
started.
definitely.
And I was like, oh, well,
we both work in comics, so we're comparing notes and all kinds of other things. So
yes. But we were talking about like the fast forward stuff and like how, but it was a different beast like when the 03 line was coming out. You know what I mean? Like I remember going to stores and being like, "This is so cool! There's turtles on the shelves."
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And there was plenty.
Yeah,
I got a lot of mine at Rite Aid.
You could like at least one thing I would say that we could pride ourselves is like at least at the time we had the lowest our figures didn't cost as much as everything else on the market, so you could see like a Justice League or a Marvel at the time, and our toys were set so like to a lower point where at least if a kid had enough money, they could go out and buy themselves their own little turtle, and that's also what sort of kept our show on for so damn long, because the toy sales were doing so well, even all the way up to the end.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing is I was working at Target in 03. Like I remember going and like I remember buying like 5 Aprils over the course of a couple months because I wanted the Mousers. And like my friends didn't want the Mousers, so I'm like, here's April. But it was the thing of, so there were so many people like Marvel Legends were starting to come out, all that stuff was starting to hit, and I remember one of my friends was like, "You only have five points of articulation," and I'm like, like, and they're just like, what are you gonna do with that? I'm like, the same thing we always did.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you sort of made do with what you had. You put your arm in a certain location, and like, all right, it's a punch.
Well, and that's why the vintage line, right. But so over that though, Dave,
that's it.
Right. But so the vintage TMNT though, I mean, they were so sculpted into an interesting stance that like they were interesting to look at, and more so than unfortunately that April.
They were like little they're like little statues in some
way. Totally.
Sorry, I had to step away for a bit. Too many drunk people around the fire to leave it unattended for long. Take care of that Flint thing. Oh, that Flint thing is so cool. Yeah, Chamber is one of my favorites.
Chamber's cool.
I love the 2012 TMNT collection. I found a lot of foot soldiers that oh yeah, heck yeah. 5 Blows did have turtles. Dave shortens his life every time he shows that off.
They had turtles.
So speaking of like with like Playmates and all that sort of stuff, like when we were doing the final season, which was Back to the Sewers, we had the movie that had just come out. Playmates actually did not want to do any characters from the show, so we ended up changing the style of the show to sort of match the figures that were coming out at the
really for the TMNT 2007 movie?
Yeah, the was it Back to the Sewers it was called.
But no, I mean so they matched it to the movie.
Yeah, we essentially did our versions of whatever those were, so that they would match up, because when they would put out the figures, they would put out the movie figures, but then they would have the stuff from our show on them, which was weird.
Interesting. I have all those figures, but I don't have any of the packaging.
I have a couple of them, because the 07 ones were out when I was in school, and I remember there was what was it? There was a Big Lot for some odd reason. Was like one of the only stores that had them in stock in Savannah. And like there was a Toys R Us, a KB Toys, like a Target, like there was all that stuff, and for some odd reason Big Lots had those in stock. And I remember going in, I'm like, $5, yeah. Like I can afford $5. Oh, there we go. Oh, Tussler does. Emilio, I'll have to send you a picture of this, man. My buddy David Tussler here in the chat has all of his 03 turtles on card hung up on his shelf.
Wasn't
Oh,
Tesla? Was
wow.
Tesla in the
That's
chat
awesome.
once?
Yeah, Tussler's been on the chat. He's actually been on the show too. He was on the 2nd episode.
Well, I think we've seen his walls before.
Yeah. Tussler. Yeah. He was on. I think it was like episode 2, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Narc knows what's up.
I actually have something from that time too, which was like we have this thing called this
Show
thing that
up.
we went to called the Turtle Summit that we went to, which was essentially.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you the floor, Emilio, real quick.
Oh yeah, so this was from what was called the Turtle Summit. So this was like, I don't know, when I was starting full time and the movie was coming out, and this is what this is a book about all the different licensing at the time.
Wow.
So like,
Right.
you know, there's okay, so here's this is fast forward, and that's all the, you know, the car,
Uh-huh.
the different vehicles like that, and obviously at the end they have there's just a bunch of different stuff that we had in here, all the different licensing, because that's what 4Kids used to do, is just licensing and all
Yeah.
different stuff. And then this watch thing right here, it actually counted down to the release of the movie.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Came out on my birthday in 2007.
Heck
I was
yeah.
like, thank you, Peter Laird.
Emilio Mixie just said, Emilio, I want to say thank you for the 03 shredder design. Coolest shredder look ever.
Oh yeah, they put
Absolutely.
a lot
I
of
agree
really
with
cool stuff we did. I mean, I always liked his voice. He had that kind of I am the shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
a deep voice.
whatever. I can't remember his name. The voice actor.
It's him. He's an interesting guy because he hadn't done a lot. Even when
he came in relatively unknown, didn't he?
Yeah, and now he's in like everything growly.
Oh yeah, he's the growly guy. But
he signed my DVD.
Oh, nice.
There you go. There you go.
When did he sign? Which one? Probably
the first DVD of the
of
the series,
nice.
2003.
Nice. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Like I actually got to talk. Well, you know, because our team was so tiny, so small. We had
Scott Rayo.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah, Scott Rayo.
I couldn't remember.
RAYOW.
But
he was the better.
I met him because our team was small enough where we could literally have like our producer could have parties at his house. So I actually had a nice little talk with him about it. I'm like, so wait, you never did anything before? It's like, no, man, I just went for the thing and just did it.
I like thinking of the shredder voice saying though, just like, no, man, like,
no, man,
I'm good. Just being like,
I'm
you
good.
sound terrifying. I love this.
He doesn't sound terrifying. He just does that really good deep growly voice. And then I know our Donatello, he's in anime. He's in a bunch of stuff.
He was in One Piece, I think.
I hear his voice all the damn time, like because you get to a point where what we used to do is we would watch the animatics and you just hear the voices all over and over again. You can tell which guys are doing an alternate voice,
right,
their character, because sometimes it's hard to do a voice instead of hide your cadence within it. So it's always fun to spot those guys.
Like the guy who did Leonardo in the original Vintage did Rocksteady, and I could hear it all the time.
Oh yeah, Cam Clark. And
Cam.
And then
any other show Cam Clark has ever done, you're like, Leonardo.
Yeah. You hear him and you watch Akira and you're like, wait a minute, that sounds like Leonardo.
Leo. And as much as I hate to do it, we can definitely keep trucking for a little bit, but we are coming up to the end of our second hour for our friends across the pond. I don't want to offend anybody.
Oh wow.
I caught it, okay? But we can definitely keep going, but I don't want to hold anybody up. But if you guys are cool, keep going. We can.
I'm cool. I'm Pacific time, so
I am.
Oh, you son of a gun!
Here all day.
I finished all of my work, so I'm good. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's keep going for a few minutes. Let's cap it. We'll put a hard cap on it in 30 minutes. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right.
That gives. Otherwise, I know that we can keep going. And by the by, Emilio, Gail, and Dan, of course, Connor too, if he's up for it. I have a 24-hour stream coming up next Friday to Saturday. If you guys want to come back on, it would be absolutely my pleasure to have y'all. So,
well, I've already said I would. So,
I mean, like I'm always up to the crack of nowhere.
Excellent.
there you go.
You know,
Well,
Yeah, I'm for
I'm
it.
sending out the
I'm up for
timesheet
it.
this week.
If we
So,
go,
Okay.
but I got to give this plug real quick because I was going to give it at the end of the show,
we
anyways.
can't go.
Let him
Check
finish
out that
it.
link below. I am participating in Extra Life this year again, and basically it's raising money for Children's Cancer Research Fund. All super chats, all that stuff is getting donated up until the show as well. And during the show, all those super chats are getting donated as well. I do recommend going to the link, this one, and donating directly through there if you can, because YouTube does take a cut out of the super chats, and I want to give as much money as possible to Children's Cancer Research.
I love Extra Life. It's a yearly thing, right? And it's like that
it's annual.
weekend. It's one weekend where a ton of people get together and they start streaming. They do 24-hour streams, blah blah blah. I love this. I love the cause. I love what you're doing. Sadly, we are going to be in Milwaukee Friday through Sunday for it's a video game and a wrestling show. It's
the worst. Milwaukee. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so it's honestly, I don't want to say I'd much rather be watching these streams, but it's definitely something that Connor and I were both very sad about when we learned we wouldn't be in time, because we have other friends too who do the Extra Life thing. And we're going to see if we can tune in sometime late at night to both you and a couple other guys.
Good.
We'll see if we can jump in, but there won't be a way that we can jump on from the hotel room.
That's okay. No worries.
I wish you luck though.
We're going for another 30. So let's keep it rolling, fellas. We've been going. We can keep it trucking. You know what? I'm going to throw it out there since we have all four turtles here, as it were. Who is your favorite non-turtle character from the turtle franchise?
Okay, I have an answer if Emilio doesn't.
Right, Gail's ready to go.
Well, okay. So we haven't talked much about the comics. So I have I have a blanket statement. I have every comic from 1984 to now of the Turtles.
Nice.
And so I got really good, and I went beyond. I went to everything that Mirage produced. So the whole Mirage universe, beyond Ninja Turtles, and then how those cross over. And so Fugitoid is bigger than just the one issue that he was in. And then that crosses over also to Michael Dooney's Gizmo Sprocket. So in the IDW, I have everything in the IDW. I don't have everything in Image, but it's not really considered that.
Dan, pay attention.
What does that mean? Oh,
so those are
that's hers. That's hers. Okay, I didn't know what.
Those are my two favorite.
Right on. That's a solid choice. Now, okay, real quick. Okay, I'm gonna put a little caveat on here too. Favorite figure of said character as well.
Oh,
this one right here.
Okay. Oh, is that the one from Eastman's site?
Yeah, no, not Eastman's site. It's actually from Mirage. Eastman bought some.
Okay,
but
that's how I got mine.
Yeah. No, I got it from Mirage. So
right on.
Nice.
It's a non-articulated, entirely chromed Fugitoid.
Oh, that's
cool.
It's right.
Ice Cream Kitty.
So let's see, non-turtle character.
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny. Like,
what up, Smitty?
I'd have to say. Oh wow, that's a hard one. Jeez. You know what? I'm gonna go with.
Dang, Josh.
Bebop.
Bebop.
I always thought he was cool. Like I always dug that he had the the military gear and he had the the machine gun and all that stuff.
That's Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. I'm mixing them up. Okay, Rocksteady.
Okay.
Rocksteady. There we go. You see, I've always mixed them. I've always had that issue. I've always mixed them up.
It's all good.
So yeah, Rocksteady. Yeah, I always thought like with the military gear and all that stuff. Like even like just like with the figure too, with like just all the detail. Like he had military spats on. He had that little shell on the back. He had all that. The lid. The lid. Yeah, I always thought that was pretty cool about him.
Here's a dorky little tidbit about tonight's show. So the pink beanie is clean and all ready to go, but I donned this because fun fact that and Emilio will appreciate this. This green hat is the same Pantone color as Rocksteady's
Rocksteady.
lid on the big door.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That is
Now,
actually that's
a
the
deep
reason
cut.
I bought this green hat, because I'm a dork like that.
Yeah, you are.
And, like,
That's
it's
perfect.
been one of my favorite things, because I like when you're a colorist and you're constantly looking at spec sheets and you're looking at you're looking at the guides and whatnot. Like you'll see stuff in the wild and just be like,
Yep.
like that, and you
Match.
it locks on. And that was what tripped this. Is I had gotten to see it was a color test chart from Playmates, and it was at San Diego or New York or something, and I took a picture of it, and I was like, I don't know why, I was just fascinated by this, of like, this is the paint we're going to use. And I was like,
yeah, that's pretty much what
awesome.
one of some of the stuff we had, like when we were doing Turtles Forever, we had like Pantone color sheets. And I actually, when I did the color design, for the classic Turtle stuff, I did use a lot of the stuff that they gave us, but then I also sort of did it by eye too, because I felt like it didn't feel like it fit, like it felt close enough.
Well, in modern technology too, you're looking at the screen and it's much brighter than any screen ever was.
Oh yeah, that was exactly. So one of the things is like I pulled down a lot of this, pulled it down a little bit, and then I also added a little bit of brown to it to sort of emulate what happens with with film in general. Like film sort of just warms everything up. Yeah. So try to give it that sort of feel.
Oh yeah. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Normally, I'd probably go with. I don't think you can get better figures than those Toka and Razors.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I normally I would go with those two. I think those are my two favorite. But it is glaringly obvious that my redheaded wife is watching the stream, so I'm also gonna go with April just to play it safe.
Yeah,
you're a wise man, Dan.
Wait, but okay, so then. Comparative to a lot of other characters, which April?
Oh,
I'm a classic guy. I love the classic April. Give me the.
Just saying, redhead.
Looks like what is that? A 14-year-old April?
Yeah.
Oh well, no, she.
No, give me an all yellow April. It's you can't beat that.
Judith held all the way.
Yeah, see, she even says
won,
OG. Yeah.
You won.
There you go.
I mean, I wouldn't have expected less. I mean, why?
Right?
Everybody goes to the classic one.
Feel free to give her a follow. She is on a huge DDPY journey. My wife has lost over 100 pounds in a year. You can follow her at Next Level.
Cover your ears. She's a badass.
She really is. You can follow her at Next Level Grit on Twitter and Instagram. A really, really amazing follow, motivational, wholesome content. And this is what Connor's been working on for the past 30 minutes.
Nice.
Connor, do you have a favorite non-turtle character / figure?
Let me look at my collection.
All right, Connor will be back in 45 minutes to an hour. What about yours? Wheeler, what's yours?
So I'm trying not, because Fugitoid right there. I'm
right
there with you, Gil. But because I don't want to repeat, I gotta go Mutagen Man.
Okay.
The figure, I never had the original vintage as a little kid, but I always thought it was so cool looking. Yeah. And it was one of those, like, I really wanted it, but just never owned it. And that Super 7, like that Super 7 Mutagen Man, oh, be still my heart. It is, hold on.
Right, okay, so to answer back on Dan's question about what I've gotten from Super 7, not Mutagen Man. I never had him when I was a kid, so I just...
Okay, so you're only picking up
amazing.
The Look at that.
Yeah. And actually, I am expanding out on waves 5 and 6 to stuff that I didn't have before, but that just looks really appealing.
Are you very fluent on the cartoon? Like, do you know all the characters?
That's a very nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I would say I am more fluent in the
it's like if you didn't have Chrome Dome
Mirage universe.
If you didn't have I know nothing about the comics, but like just going based off the cartoons, if you don't know who Chrome Dome is and you didn't have if you didn't have the figure, odds are he was one of the later characters in the show, to my memory. You might not know who that is, so maybe you wouldn't be interested. This is your favorite guy.
Yeah.
Running.
Oh man, his reason is hilarious. Show him to the camera. So he
There you
picked
go.
Genghis Frog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
And
yeah.
why did you pick him?
because he looks like Kermit.
He looks like Kermit. Connor's
yeah,
big
yeah,
on
yeah.
Muppets right now.
He looks like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
look
go.
at that. That's pretty cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, right. And so the Chrome Dome, like I have all of the cartoon on DVD. I haven't watched every episode. I didn't watch every episode originally.
Sure.
But I certainly remember the vintage figure. I never had the vintage figure, but
Okay.
you go to all your friends'
or
house.
something. Yeah,
There you go.
Another favorite.
that's a cool one.
Isn't that Mondo Gecko of 2012?
Yeah, this is the 2012 one. I
never had that one.
I was a big fan of skate culture growing up, but I had gigantic feet, so I couldn't really skate. Like I'm still rocking size 16. So,
I was about to say, you're saying that in a past tense there.
Yeah, and it's that thing of like I longboarded for a bit, and that's a whole different thing. But like when this Mondo hit the screen, I was like, whoa. Like, yes, all right.
That's your boy.
One thing I really appreciated with that series is that they literally they said, all right, we're going to do this, but we're just going to go in a whole different direction on everything.
Well, and he was voiced by the cinematic Michelangelo too.
Yeah, they had a lot of those. They had a lot of the original guys sort of recast as other characters.
Which was I still one of my favorite things was the Rob Paulson voicing two different versions and going, you sound dumb. And it's like, you sound dumb. It's like, oh no.
That was the one thing I wish we could have done on Turtles Forever, but we couldn't do that get like the original cast because
didn't have the original Leonardo.
We didn't have any of the originals, but unfortunately because our show was a non-Screen Actors Guild show. And,
that explains everything.
But
that's hilarious. That's not me. That's my co-host on Flips and Bums.
That's amazing.
How did he get there? That's nuts.
Just lucky.
But our show was a non-Screen Actors Guild show, so I mean, we did contact them, but at the same time, I'm sure their manager said, "Nah, we ain't doing anything.
Yeah, you can't
non-guild stuff."
Yeah.
So.
Which is a bummer because that would have been so like that, again. That was the thing. Like going back, like Ollie and I watched Turtles Forever, and he loved it. And then we were watching the 2012 series through the summer, and we hit the crossover between the two. And he's like, they sound like the old cartoon, and like he didn't say that about Turtles Forever, and I'm just like, but it's different. Just don't worry about it.
No, I mean, it was like at the time, the guy who played the Shredder was still alive too. I'm blanking on his name right now. He passed. Oh, what?
Yeah, that's me. I put
like,
that in the chat. Yeah, I couldn't put the link in there for some reason.
What are you typing in?
That's my eBay store. Mitch is trying to figure out what it is. I'm not trying to plug it, but Mitch is going to run himself ragged trying to find this link. Yeah.
So the process was to go to Instagram and cross-reference the sold items with posts.
See, the co-host runs the Instagram, so it's all his items that got listed there. Good job, though. You're a detective.
James Avery.
Yeah, James Avery.
James Avery. There we go.
Uncle Phil.
So he was alive at the time, and we contacted them all, but unfortunately we didn't hear anything back. I'm sure their manager said, no non-guild stuff. We ain't doing that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
I would love to
go back and like just remaster that thing.
Yeah.
Really good.
Put it out in HD like it was supposed to, because it was all put out like the Nickelodeon just slapped it on a DVD and called it.
Yeah, I only have the DVD and it has like nothing on it other than just press play.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a high def.
We did. That was our last. This is a testament to how long ago this was. HD was only just becoming a thing in 2009, and that was our first and last thing. Like we went full HD, we got all that stuff going, and then once they got released on DVD, they just said, They didn't even put my poster on the cover. I was like,
no, they didn't.
I was gonna say, like, when you sent me that, I'm just like, this would have been way cooler.
What they did was they just literally stuck one of the pieces of licensing art that we had for years. In fact, that Raphael picture was a poster that was or on covers of folders and stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, I remember getting that DVD and being so stoked, and I'm like, wait, why is it all chopped up still?
Yeah, it's the cut. It was the cut version, and then it's not even HD. Didn't even have the cover on it. But one thing I am happy about is the European version of it actually does have the real cover, and it's the uncut.
Oh,
It's just
that's
on
cool.
DVD. Yeah,
Well,
But it's on PAL format.
I think it's on PAL or something like that, or it's one of those. No, I think it was like a region-less DVD they had
Okay.
done, but they actually did.
You got one on your eBay store?
I don't. I do. That's something I'd keep.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on that.
Lots of love for Ace Duck. Heck yeah. The 90s were the year of duck cartoons. Back then, I bought a plasma TV for like $5,000. It would be like, let's be optimistic. The 800's really optimistic for that.
Those are bootlegs. Not real.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's so funny looking back at some of that stuff and going like, there's so much love for the 03 series, and like it seems like it's almost like the forgotten show as far as like licensing goes. But
it's a weird one. It I think it has to do with more of the fact because it has the misfortune of being in between of it all. Like
right. Yeah, it didn't have anything else.
It did, like in other words, you did have the the live action one, the
Next Mutation,
which I'm sure that doesn't get any love.
Except for Mitch. Mitch loves.
Yeah.
But like our show like was sort of like in that spot where it, people still have the nostalgia of the original show. Our show was there, and we had a good run, and I think we did a good job of what we did. But I think once Nickelodeon got it, they're like, you know what, let's we go with the nostalgia of the old one, but let's start anew with the 2012 one. And I definitely think that I from the stuff that I saw of the 2012 show, I really was happy with it. A lot of what they did, and then also having the luxury of money. Imagine if, like, I always think about, like, imagine if we had the budget that Nickelodeon was actually pouring on.
Yeah,
because we had a tiny little team. We had one or two background designers, one prop designer, a little tiny storyboard department, and a lot of us was freelance. And then we had a color, like a 3-man color department. We weren't a lot of folks.
Were you not? I'm going to assume not directly, but were you involved at all with the PlayStation games?
Yeah, some of our stuff was in the PlayStation games, like
because I think there was 2 or 3 that were based on the 2000 series.
There was the Smash Up game, which was the Super Smash Brothers looking game. Yep. There's some of our production art is in that one, and I think they actually did use some of our designs in it. I think the Cyber Shredder's in there or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 games, a lot of the stuff, our stuff is all reused in there, but they don't. I don't think they gave us a credit on it. They just sort of they just used it.
Sure.
It's weird when it comes to sort of games like that. They don't usually when they base it off of them, they don't usually mention unless we did an original artwork for it.
Right.
Probably throw you in the credits.
Michael Palmer is throwing you a little bit of love there. I have such fond memories of the 2003 series, especially when it got into the 3rd season. I'm surprised a lot of those episodes were able to air on Saturday morning.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's a testament to our producer Lloyd Goffine. He was able to wine and dine the censor board. Like, they were really cool with us. Then when then eventually they sort of got a new person there, and then he wasn't able to kind of get things through. But we got some really funky stuff over on them. I feel like it's like
it got dark.
It's kind of like it's kind of like how Gargoyle, like if you think about like Gargoyles also sort of was able to get through too.
Yeah.
I was like, Peter put a lot of faith into Lloyd, and Lloyd was able to get so much done with him. I like, they had like a really great communication, and again, just having Peter be giving his blessing to let us do the things that we could do with the shows, and also just be like not have to worry about it, because I think a lot of the time, again, he felt at least from what Lloyd told us, he was in he had a bad taste in his mouth from the Next Mutation era of stuff. And I think him and Eastman sort of just lost it at that time, right?
Yeah.
Again, not all of us can understand this, but Peter Laird was doing Volume 4 at the same time, and Laird was always way more about the sci-fi and the story and the adventure than the action like Eastman was. And so where Volume 4 went, I actually liken it more to the 2003 series, even though the 2003 series is based more on the older comics.
More M&Ms.
That I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it went dark.
Yeah,
it never has.
But
and you read issue 1 of TMNT, and it's
they kill and murder the Shredder.
They kill the Shredder. Yeah,
I remember being so like again, I was born the same year the Fred Wolf cartoon started. Like, you know, so it was that thing of like, I remember I got into like the Archie comics before I ever read the Eastman and Laird books and stuff like that. And I remember being probably about maybe 6 or 7, and it was like a mini comic version of like, I think it was the first 3 issues that came out. And I remember I picked it up. It looked like a chapter book essentially, and I was like, Ninja Turtles, oh my god, they killed Shredder, like, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like, what happened?
I remember, like, you know, finally getting to see all that stuff and like being like, oh, okay, the Shredder's like the Turtles are like Daredevil in this version of the Turtles. It's a little more brutal than the thing. Almost felt forbidden, like, ooh,
right.
Ooh.
What was Laird's racing comic again?
Planet Racers.
There we
go.
Did
it with Jim Lawson.
Right.
I think we did Planet Racers at something on our show.
Sounds familiar. They did. They were almost done. Yeah. They tried to put it in there as much as they could.
Well, they're kind of background, aren't they?
Then we can look at
in like was it season 2?
Yeah, I'm blanking on that one.
It's been a minute. But we have 8 minutes left before that half-hour cap. So real quick, I'm gonna run around the horn. We're gonna start off with Emilio real quick. Emilio, what's going on? What you got going? What do you want to hype? What do you want to get?
Well,
get
I mean,
people.
It's great to having me on. I'm doing work for DC right now. I'm doing Nubia and the Amazons right now, which is just released its first issue. Next issue coming out next month. I work on Excellence for Skybound, and all kinds of other stuff. I got a lot of really funky stuff going on. I'm also on a regular podcast called Throwdown. That's at Throwdown Show on Twitter, and you can literally find our, the link to our YouTube and our Audio Boom.
Hell yeah! And I'm actually dropping the link to the podcast in the chat right now. Because I didn't want to put that on Mitch, even though it already has like 7 different iterations of that link already.
Yeah, just literally that right there. There you go.
There we go. So definitely go check that out. Emilio, again, thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you next week for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll drop by.
Yeah, we'll figure out times and all that jazz. Gail, what's up? What you want to tell the people? What you want to show to people?
Well, I'm just a guy, but I'm definitely in the collectors committee. In 2019, I started a tabletop game company called the Forging Committee.
Nice.
And we've been working on a collectible card game since then. Pandemic, of course, made it a lot slower, but that's okay. We got to focus on it. So we're still in the middle of all of that. The game is called Crusades Advanced Rules System, and we're hoping it's going to really kick a lot of people's butts. But other than that, I'm a graphic designer, stormerdesign.com, and
I think that's in somewhere.
Yeah. And I'm on Facebook, and I'm at Gail Benning 1138 on Instagram, and you can hit me up.
Right on. Well, thank you for coming on, Gail. We'll see you next weekend for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we will not see this man and the kiddo next weekend. But
yeah, it's a shame.
We love you all the same. So what you got going on, Dan?
Yeah, dude, this was another great month of Turtle Talk. You can find me if you're looking for more of my bitter antics. Can be heard on the Bittermarks podcast at bittermarks.com. That's a wrestling podcast that we talk about some of the weekly ongoings of wrestling, but more so about my former wrestling career as a referee, my current wrestling career as a referee, and then all the odds and ends in between. I also have the Flips and Bumps podcast, which is a flipping podcast where I talk about my eBay store and the ins and outs of there. Connor is not on social media, but he loves to watch YouTube. And I don't know. I'd like to use this time just to plug whatever Mitch Falcon wants to plug, because he is the really the man that runs this show behind the scenes without being asked to. Mitch, if you have any links for yourself, please throw them out in the chat, because you never do that, and I think it's definitely warranted. Yeah, guys, I honestly just thank you for letting Connor tag along for this one. This was his first full Turtle Talk. I think he did okay paying attention and not being too much bother. Yeah, so yeah, I appreciate you guys letting him hang. You want to say anything before we go?
Bye.
Just a bye. Okay.
All right.
Mitch Falcon does not have links. He does not exist, but he does misspell stuff, so he corrected with exist. There we go. As always, I'm Dave Wonder. You can find me right here on the Dave Wonder channels, youtube.com/Dave Wonder, twitch.tv/Dave Wonder. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm always streaming. Monday's over on the Foosh for Monday Foosh Live. That's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time with my pal Robo over on the Foosh channels. Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Dave Wonder channels. We got Tiny Ming Tuesdays, which is live customizing, talking shop and chopping shop. And then on Wednesday, we got Toys with the Boys, where we grip and rip cardboard all night long. I'm really tired and still a little lightheaded from that flippin' blimp that I blew up twice. But thank you everybody for stopping by. Please check out the Extra Life link. Give if you can, and if you can't, share the link around. Let's help out some kids. Oh, Mitch Falcon does have.
What do you got, Mitch?
Uh-oh. You did better paying attention than my middle school students. That's fair. Maybe if you watch the whole 24-hour stream, maybe. Oh! This is news to me too.
He's throwing down the gavel.
So, Connor, thank you so much for joining, bud. Hopefully you'll come back and hang with us again next month.
Okay.
Okay. It's way past his bedtime. Happy Halloween, guys.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Mr. Allmine. Cake. You're a monster. But yes, happy Halloween, everybody. We'll see you next month. Goji King, just watch the replay, dude.
Yeah, what?
Come on. No crying. And I saw you commenting earlier. But yes, a fine note to go out on. Happy Halloween, Organics. Till next time, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody here. Go like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Much love from Minnesota. And yeah, happy Halloween. Bye. And someone turn off Mitch Falcon.
He's unstoppable.
Just in case. We don't want him taking over again. Those are lovely M&Ms. They melt in your mouth, not in your hands. You know this? This is well known, yes? All right, I'm terrible at this. I'm giving out comics, not cake. Just FYI.